So here I was, Shin, literally humanity's absolute last hope. No pressure, right? Just 8 billion people, all counting on me to find a new home. See, our home planet Blue Star was basically dying like a phone at 1%. Sun going dark, all resources completely tapped out. So some genius decided, hey, let's send a single guy in a spaceship to explore a planet that we know absolutely nothing about. Naturally, I flew my ship, the Spark, straight to Kepler 666b, expecting simple air and water. Blue Star 2.0. Sounded like pure paradise, right? But you already know the catch here. This planet immediately tried to crush me. I punched right through the atmosphere. My ship basically exploded. During touchdown, I got hurled straight out like a rag doll, smashed headfirst into rocks, ribs cracking instantly. My bones sounded like someone crushing potato chips. Then the gravity hit 10 times heavier than Blue Star. I couldn't even wiggle my pinky finger, just pinned down like a pancake, the kind someone forgot to flip. Each breath, like bench pressing a massive truck. Even that fancy titanium armor I wore, completely wrecked, just a broken human being. Absolutely superglued to the ground by some massive, invisible force. Those genius astronomers saw water and air, but completely missed one thing. This planet has insane gravity, capable of flattening an elephant into a tiny coin. Great job, science team. Seriously, can you believe this luck? I'm just lying there thinking, so this is how our last hope dies. Just a sad stain on red alien dirt. Then ding, a weird robotic voice pops into my head. Special life form detected. Activating survival evolution system. A glowing blue screen suddenly materializes right before my eyes. Stats and attributes. The entire screen goes full gamer. Strength 15, agility 12, constitution 13, charm 18. I am literally dying, but at least I am handsome. Then the system explains, I get 1 free stat point every day at midnight, just for keeping myself alive, and I can use them to strengthen my real body. Absolutely no limits. Next, it asks if I want a starter gift pack. Opening the starter pack right now. 1,000 extra attribute points. I literally almost cry. Immediately dumping 100 points into constitution because, you know, this gravity was literally squishing me to death. Warm, soothing energy floods my entire body. The crushing pain fades, and I can finally breathe again. I feel absolutely incredible, like I could easily smash through a wall back on Blue Star. And I still have 900 points left. It was time to play it smart, carefully planning my next moves like an absolute genius. Suddenly, a bizarre alien creature screeches nearby, screaming gaga, that gaga chicken, and I jump so incredibly hard, my shaking finger accidentally hits the all-in button, right next to charm. 900 points dumped in. Wait, no, wait, system. I did not mean to click that. No refunds allowed. My 900 points, you absolute scammer. So now, trust me, my stats look completely ridiculous. My body is just slightly upgraded, but my charm level is suddenly on the tier of a god, like 1,000 supermodels combined into one. But who needs 915 charm on a deserted planet? I just sit there for a minute, mourning my wasted points. Suddenly, my stomach growled, louder than that freaky alien chicken. I drag myself over to the wreckage of my ship, and find some emergency rations, devouring them like I have not eaten in a whole week. Turns out having higher constitution gives you a massive appetite. Fantastic. I'm about to starve to death, looking absolutely gorgeous. My ship was trashed and comms were dead. Zero way to contact Blue Star. Stranded completely alone on a high-gravity death world, with broken bones. No system points left, but enough raw charm to seduce a black hole. Luckily, the emergency safety pod was still totally intact, so at least I had a safe place to sleep. As the sun went down, the sky turned a creepy dark purple. The temperature plummeted. Crawling inside the pod, I stared out at the endless, bleak horizon. A red wasteland. I whispered to myself that I would survive this. Just gotta keep quiet. Save up 1 daily point at a time, and figure this crazy world out. 80 billion lives are actually riding on my shoulders. Yet I somehow managed to turn myself into the most handsome man alive. Instead of the absolute strongest. This is fine. Totally fine. For days now, I have been hiding inside this safety pod, just like a bug under a fridge. The good news is, I finally cracked how this system operates. This crazy planet has literal monster beasts, complete with power levels, and defeating them yields crystal cores which grant actual attribute points. So, basically, I am trapped inside a video game, Awesome, except I am level 1 and everything else is level 99. There goes my luck. My daily login reward is one single, measly attribute point. Just 1 point daily. At this rate, I'll actually be strong enough to survive in about 300 years. Super helpful, system. Thanks. What a scam. Under 10 times gravity. I move way slower than an old chicken. Seriously, some random baby monster could easily sneeze on me and I'd die. Worst of all, my compressed food was nearly gone. Chewing on mere crumbs, deeply regretting my life choices. Suddenly, the ground shakes. Something massive is coming. Watch out. Peering carefully through the thick glass of my safety pod, I absolutely almost swallowed my tongue. A strange woman walked out from behind the nearby rocks. And when I say woman, I mean an actual 3-meter-tall giantess. She was completely gigantic. Think of a stunning supermodel, but pumped with magic and scaled up to 100%. Her dark green hair flowed like pure silk. She wore beast skin armor hugging every curve, too terrifying to even describe. With a face more stunning than any celebrity. Back on Blue Star, I probably barely reached her kneecap, and she was walking right toward me. She stopped right in front of my safety pod, and just stood there staring and smiling, offering this shy little grin that somehow made every single hair on my body stand up. Why is she smiling like that? What does she want? I am not coming out. Go away. Big sister, you are gorgeous, but you are terrifying. Panicking, I immediately begged the system for help. System, what is happening? What does she want? The system replied. Do not worry, she has zero intention to kill you, though she might do some pretty strange things to you. Strange things? What strange things? System, explain right now. Too late. Watch her slam her giant palm on my pod, and squeeze the heavy door like it is aluminum foil. Crunch, just peeling it open, like a sardine can. Then she reached inside and easily plucked me out. Holding me like a hamster, she raised me to her face, and just stared at me, with a look of absolute, deep fascination, like I was the cuttest, most precious little toy she had ever found. Her eyes were literally sparkling with tiny hearts. Big sister, please just put me down. System, help me. But she could not understand a single word I said. To her, I was just making cute squeaking noises. She gently poked my cheek with her giant finger, like I was made of fragile glass. Her fingertip was literally the size of my entire face, and she smelled incredibly nice, which somehow made everything way more stressful. Watch as she suddenly grabs me, stuffing me against her chest and taking off running. I am squeezed against her just like a teddy bear. My face was smashed right into her, and let's just say her proportions were completely scaled up, to say the least. Each one was literally bigger than my head. Her heartbeat was pounding like a heavy drum. I looked ahead. There was a massive stone castle mountaintop. That is when the horrible realization struck. She was bringing me back home. And the system did warn us about this. She was dragging me to her fortress. I've lived for 28 whole years, kept my dignity intact this entire time. And now go, please, no. I squirmed like crazy, wiggled around, maybe even whimpering a bit. Okay, a lot. My voice cracked like some middle schooler. She noticed my panic and actually stopped walking, setting me down pretty gently, poked my cheek with a warm finger, making these soft, cooing noises, as if soothing a frightened little puppy. The nicer she was, the more terrified I felt. Once I stopped thrashing, she scooped me up. At that point, I was just shaking, which she clearly took as a green light. Then she bolted toward the castle. Those massive stone gates opened. Giant warriors stepped out holding stone axes. Seeing me in her arms, their jaws dropped. They immediately began shouting and pointing, like I was some legendary, mythical creature. She lifted up her chin proudly, showing me off to absolutely everyone, like some grand trophy she just won at a fair. Look what I found, her body language screamed. And get this, more giant women show up, crowding around, staring at me with hungry eyes, filled with absolute desire and kind of total ownership. I felt like a prize hamster at their convention. My survival mission on Kepler 666b was officially a hostage situation. I cursed my bad luck. This is what 915 charm gets you, you idiot. She carried me into a room deep inside the castle, gently laying me down on a bed covered in soft animal fur, like I was some fragile porcelain doll. Then she just left, with no chains, no iron cage, no lock on the door. Somehow, that made me even more nervous, because when your captor hands you freedom, seriously, that is when you know things are bad. A few minutes later, another giant woman stepped in. A shorter one, only about 2.5 meters short. She brought over a stone tray piled with strange things, colorful fruits I had never seen before, and placed it down next to me. She just stared at me, like I was some weird talking hamster in a pet shop. Then she quietly left. Suddenly, my stomach growled, echoing loudly off the cold stone walls. System, scan these fruits. Are they poisoned? The system scanned them, packed with crazy nutrients, and completely safe to eat. So I grabbed one resembling a golden apple, and took a big bite, sweet juice with a kick. Instantly, raw energy exploded all through my body, like chugging 10 energy drinks. All the heavy gravity muscle pain just melted away. My mind completely cleared up. I devoured 3 more and felt like a brand new man. But system, I still have questions. Why did she even bring me here? Is it because of my ridiculous charm stat? The system confirmed that with 918 points, you are totally irresistible. Without that high charm stat of yours, she would have chopped off your third leg. Just like that. Wait, my third. Excuse me, she is deeply affected by your charm. Right now, she just wants to possess you. So let me get this straight. My accidental 900-point charm investment literally saved my life, while totally ruining it at the exact same time. Without it, death by giant axe. With it, death by giant woman love. Truly fantastic options, system. I cannot even understand what she is saying. Can you teach me their local language? Right. To instantly download the Titan language database, you must establish a direct neural connection. Tell me in plain English. You have to kiss her on the lips. I stared into empty space for the whole seconds. Kiss her? She is literally 3 meters tall. Her mouth could swallow my entire head whole. I'll get sucked inside. You'll be fine. Just one kiss, grab the language data, and done. You aren't messing with me, right? I would never lie to you, dear host. Right. This is the exact same system that let me accidentally waste 900 points into charm stats. Super trustworthy. Fine. When she returns, I'll try. 2 long hours pass by. She returns in new clothes, holding a piping hot stone bowl of rich, amazing-smelling soup. She spots me sitting on the bed, and her eyes instantly light up with joy. Squatting down, she offers me the stone bowl, with both hands, looking up with those massive, hopeful, innocent eyes, like a kid, showing off a brand new drawing to mom. I drank the soup. It tasted incredible. Warm energy immediately floods my entire body. I hand the bowl back, but she doesn't leave. She just crouches there, chin resting on her hands, staring directly at me, unblinking. Her eyes are totally glued, like I am the most fascinating thing in existence. The sheer intensity of her gaze is unreal. It actually makes my skin crawl. But wait, this is my only real chance. System, get ready now. I'm going in. Do it. Host, go kiss her. I take a deep breath and look up at her, reaching out with my tiny hands. I grab her massive head on both sides and slowly pull my face toward her giant, soft, glossy lips. She blinks, her long eyelashes fluttering. Surprise, then pure shyness, flashes across her face. And instead of backing off, she actually leaned right in. I kissed. She froze, totally locked up like a crash system. Then her soft, tan cheeks flushed bright crimson. Her breathing grew heavy. The system started screaming in my head. Connection established, language data downloading now. Soft and warm lips, smelling like sweet flowers as her massive hand rose to slowly cradle the back of my head, extremely carefully, so tenderly, like I was a fragile soap bubble. But here's the terrifying part. That massive hand could easily crush my skull like a grape. We locked lips like that for over 2 whole minutes. Yes, 2 full minutes. System, is the download finished yet? Oh, it completed a while ago. Wait, what? Why didn't you warn me? Well, you didn't ask. Plus, you certainly seem to be enjoying it. I will end you. You brainless system. Oh, sure you will. Dog host, you kissed her with pretty great enthusiasm, for a guy supposedly hating it. I instantly broke away from her grasp, but she remained completely frozen in that leaning position, her eyes half closed, cheeks burning red, eyelashes fluttering softly in the quiet. Slowly, her eyes opened. They were shimmering and soft, brimming with pure joy. She slowly touched her own lips with one finger. Then she looked at me and grinned, dazzling and blinding. Seriously, it totally stopped my heart. Shy, sweet, and absolutely devastating. She whispered some words I still couldn't understand yet, since the system was still processing the download. But the pure emotion behind it was crystal clear. Realizing I couldn't understand her language, A brief flash of sadness crossed her face, but she didn't force things and simply stood up, leaving me with one final, long look, overflowing with deep affection. It felt pretty embarrassing as she walked. The second the door shuts, I collapse onto the soft fur bed. I slam both hands over my face, and just lie there. My chest is practically hammering like crazy. And no, it is not from fear. It is because her completely unfiltered, shameless, overwhelming affection just totally fried my whole brain. Aren't I supposed to save humanity? Yet here I am, kissing a 3-meter-tall, giant alien, on a crazy planet that is literally trying to crush me. Mom, if you could only see me now. Actually, please do not look. System. Is that language download done yet? 12%. Great. Talk about a nightmare, locked in a giant woman's room with no escape. The windows are tiny and way too high. That stone door is 30 centimeters thick. I could literally punch it for 1,000 years, and it would not even scratch. 1 hour and 43 minutes of staring at walls later, the system finally loads the Titan database. Understand and speak basic Titan, unlocked. Perfect timing, because footsteps echo outside. The door opens, in walks my captor, with 2 other giant women close behind. They are holding neatly folded clothes. Are you awake? She asks quite softly, and I completely understand every single word. Is your body feeling all right? Did you like the soup? I force myself to stay calm. I am fine. The soup was pretty delicious. Thank you. Instantly, her eyes go huge. Her jaw drops. The 2 companions behind her literally gasp out loud. You can bet they are all staring at me like I have just pulled a rabbit right out of my ear. You can actually speak our language. She rushes over, crouching down right in front of me, her amber eyes sparkling with pure amazement. Yeah, I just learned it. I am just a very fast learner. I lie instantly. Like, hey, I downloaded your whole language through a magical kiss. That would raise questions I really did not want to answer. I listened closely and figured it out. I answered casually, and she stared at me for a long time. And somehow, she fell even more deeply in love with me. I could literally see the hearts multiplying inside her eyes. Yep, my massive charm stat strikes again. You are amazing. You are not like anyone else. She said shyly. Hi, I am Alia. I am Shin. Alia waved over her to personal attendants to set the clothing down on the stone table. But her eyes never left me once. Not for 1 second. I had these made specially for you, tailored to your size, so try them on and see if they fit. And then, she dropped the bomb. In our Greenwood tribe, when you want to marry someone, you prepare special tribal clothing for them. This is my official proposal to you. My heart literally skipped a beat, Mary. I tried pretty hard to keep my voice from cracking. What do you mean, Mary? Alia smiled even wider, blushing like a teenager, and spoke with absolute seriousness. Our tribe's marriage prayer festival is in 3 days. It's the perfect day for wedding vows. I already told the chief, and everyone approved. Everything is prepared. Every single word made sense. Together, they formed the most insane sentence I had ever heard. Hold on. I raised my hands, Alia. We only met today, less than a day ago. I am not even from your tribe. Marriage is a huge life decision. This is way too. I do not care. She cut me off instantly, her eyes burning with intensity. The very moment I first saw you, I know I wanted you. I want to be with you. Yes, you are pretty short, but I don't mind. That's enough. I do not need another reason. I am a little short. I am normal height. You are the one who is 3 meters tall, but I kept that to myself because her confession hit with insane power, slamming into me like a train. No build-up, no actual dating, without even coffee dates first. Just full speed, zero hesitation. You are mine now. Energy that made an army of 1,000 soldiers look pretty tame. The 2 attendants quietly slipped out, gently closing the door behind them, leaving just me and Alia alone. Her eyes burned with absolute possessiveness. What if I refuse? I asked carefully. Bracing for the absolute worst, she went quiet for a moment. Then, dead serious, you do not get to refuse. I like you and I want to be with you. This is my one single wish in this life. Before I could even speak, her voice softened. I won't hurt you. I will treat you well, giving you the absolute best of everything I have. You will never have to face any danger alone again. Then she stood up and gave me one last long look, filled with a weird mix of deep longing and hope. Slowly, she walked toward the door. Get some rest. Try on those clothes. I will come see you tomorrow. The door clicked shut, and I collapsed onto the fur bed. Negotiation status, complete and total failure. Honestly, There was never a negotiation. She did not ask, she just informed. Honestly, how do you even escape this? Naturally, I can hear guards patrolling right outside, hearing heavy footsteps every few minutes. Even if I somehow managed to slip past that door, I would get caught within 50 meters and lose the tiny bit of freedom I have left. But then, I actually started thinking. Elia is a top-ranking warrior, the strongest fighter in the entire Greenwood tribe. Out there in the harsh wilderness, literally everything wants to kill me. But in here, I have food, warm shelter, and a personal bodyguard who would literally fight off a dragon for me. This castle is not a prison. It is the ultimate safe house. I can hide here and level up, stack attribute points and get stronger. Strong enough to survive on this pretty insane planet. Swallow my pride now, build power for later. I pick up the tribal outfit and slip it on. It fits quite well, almost like she measured me while I was sleeping, which she totally did, slightly creepy, but mostly impressive. My reflection stares back from the polished stone wall, a regular human in alien fancy clothes, just trapped inside a giant castle, and getting married in 3 short days, to a bride twice my height. My entire survival plan is just going along with it. It is totally ridiculous and pretty humiliating. Honestly, it is a little bit sad, but I am alive, and as long as I breathe. The game is not over. 3 days until the wedding. Time is ticking down, and Shin never goes down without a solid plan. Even if that plan is currently just eating strange fruit, farming points, and trying not to get crushed on the honeymoon. Can you imagine being a giant woman's pet boyfriend? I put on the tribal outfit the alien made me, the one covered in those tiny blue crystal pieces. I barely finished getting dressed before hearing her skipping right down the hallway. She is literally skipping like a kid visiting Disneyland. Shin, are you up? I am taking you on a castle tour today. So off we go, me and my 3-meter-tall girlfriend, walking through the halls together, almost looking like a mother taking her toddler to daycare. This place is massive, with guards everywhere. Giant guys with heavy stone axes and spears, muscles piled on top of muscles. Average height, over 3 meters. Just look at them, the weakest could squash me like a bug, and they are only considered low-rank warriors. The basic model, yet any single one of them could fold me like laundry. Elio was acting like a total tour guide, pointing out the patrol guards, showing me the main core district, and the great forest beyond that. Everything was going perfectly. Peaceful, educational. But then things went south. A loud voice boomed down the hallway, calling for Lady Elia. It sounded like absolute thunder. Turning around, I saw a literal mountain of a man. He stood 3.5 meters tall, with shoulders wide enough to block a doorway. Scars covered his heavy battle armor. This dude looked like he ate rocks for breakfast, and monsters for lunch, backed up by 2 other giants, glaring right at me, like I had insulted their ancestors. Instantly, tribe members nearby stopped in their tracks, crowding back against the stone walls. The cozy castle tour vibe evaporated, and trust me, the gossip got wild fast. My translator system picked up every single whisper. That is Callan. He is the tribe's 2nd strongest warrior, sitting right behind Lady Elia. He has been chasing her for 2.5 years. Now she brings home this tiny, strange foreigner. Callan must be furious. Just look at him. He is incredibly short. They look like a mother walking with her child. But honestly, I think the little guy is pretty cute. The more I look, the more I like him. What is wrong with you women? This tribe has plenty of big, powerful men. Ever since this little shrimp showed up, you have all lost your minds. He is short and weak. All he has is a handsome face. Totally useless. Shut up. Move, you idiots. You are blocking my view of him. Great, I have a fan club and enemies now. Both are absolutely terrifying. Callan stopped right in front of us, towering right over me, just like a massive building about to crush a squirrel. His eyes glared with nothing but pure contempt. To him, I was less than an ant, more like whatever an ant steps on. Then he turned to Elia, barely holding back his rage, asking her, "Who is this little rat? Why are you with him?" But Elia stepped forward, standing directly between me and this literal walking earthquake. With steel in her voice, his name is Shin. He is the partner I chose, and we are marrying at the prayer festival. Yes, the day after tomorrow. Kalong's face cycled through 17 different emotions. In just 2 seconds, shock, disbelief, horror, and rage. Pure heartbreak, then fury. Why, I have chased you for 2.5 years, having slain high-rank monsters for this tribe. I did everything for you, and yet you reject me, just to say yes to this tiny shrimp. What does he even have that I lack? Oh, the crowd loved this juicy drama. It was the giant equivalent of grabbing popcorn, happening right before my eyes. Someone whispered that Kalong had a point. That outsider is nothing special, aside from being pretty cute. A female giant immediately snapped back. Pretty, he is gorgeous. If Elia did not claim him, I would snatch him up as my own boy toy in a second. Quiet, he belongs to Lady Elia now. We cannot talk like that, but who cares? If that little cutie actually fell into my hands, making sure he could not walk straight for days. I heard that. Yes, I heard every word. My survival instincts were screaming at maximum volume. But then, I realized something wild. I looked at myself, incredibly short by giant standards, completely weak as a newborn kitten in combat. Zero real achievements, brought home like some stray puppy. Meanwhile, here was Kalong, tall, powerful. He dedicated 2.5 years of loyal pursuit. Wait, am I actually the home wrecker in this story? A wild thought hit me like lightning. How did I somehow end up as the villain in another couple's love story? Seriously, I was literally kidnapped. But wait, this is actually my perfect escape. If Kalong convinces Elia that I'm totally worthless, maybe this crazy wedding gets cancelled entirely. So I gave Elia's sleeve a gentle tug, and looked up with my most innocent, sincere expression, and said, Elia, he's right, I truly don't deserve you. Maybe we really shouldn't get married. Instantly, the entire hallway went dead silent. No one expected this, and even Kalong froze solid mid-tantrum. Everyone just stared at me in disbelief. And then, Elia slowly turned with fire in her eyes. Absolutely not, this marriage is happening. Her voice wasn't even loud, but those words sliced through the air like blades. Seriously, we all felt that chill right down our spines. She spun right back around to Kalong, her face cold enough to freeze boiling lava. And you, I have never, ever liked you. Who I choose to marry is my own business. Just stay out of it. Kalong's entire face turned the color of a bruised plum. He looked at her, then glared at me, and his jealousy slowly curdled into something far darker. He stared at me with pure venom, like he was memorizing my face for a wanted poster. Pointing at me, he muttered, you. Grinding his teeth, just you wait. I'll show you exactly how much you don't belong. Next to her, suddenly, Elia's aura exploded. Super high rank. Warrior energy blasted outward like a massive shockwave. The air grew heavy and the guards flinched. Tribe members stumbled backward. Touch him, I dare you. Kalong's entire body trembled. He couldn't match her. He glared at me one last time, spitting out, you'll regret this, Elia, and stormed off with his two goons. The crowd slowly drifted away. Everyone snuck one last curious look at me, the tiny alien who just caused the ultimate drama this fortress had witnessed lately. I let out the heaviest sigh of my life. So to recap today's chaotic tour, I now face a powerful, jealous enemy who wants to crush me. My plan to call off this wedding failed spectacularly, and half the women in this clan literally want to steal me from my captor. Then Elia turned right back to me, and just like that, the Ice Queen melted into warm smiles. She gently patted my head like I was a cute little puppy. Do not worry about him while I am around. No one touches you. I told you this wedding is definitely happening anyway. She firmly grabbed my hand. Her massive palm completely engulfed my entire hand, and started dragging me along, urging me to come see the rest of it. I trailed along right behind her, like a helpless little guy, being walked by the planet's most terrifying, yet loving giant. The plan to escape this marriage failed. My plan to lay low and avoid all trouble also completely failed. Today's score is 1 angry rival and 0 problem solved. This 9/18. Charm stat is the gift that keeps on giving. And by giving, I mean ruining my life in incredibly creative ways. Every single day, back in my room, I stared at my incredibly pathetic stats and wanted to cry. Getting just 1 attribute point a day. At this rate, I will be battle ready by my 300th birthday. Kalong would murder me, buried my body and danced on my grave. 299 years before, I desperately needed monster cores. That was my only real shortcut, but actually fighting monsters myself. A light breeze on this planet could knock me out cold. I desperately needed a bodyguard and a driver, someone who could slice through savage beasts, while I safely hid behind them, grabbing easy loot like a lazy gaming player. I absolutely needed Elia, so I swallowed my pride. What little of it remained, after being carried around like some purse for 2 days, I marched straight up to the castle top floor, where she lived, finding her at a stone table, casually polishing a massive sword that was easily bigger than my whole body. Just normal girl things, Linchin. What are you doing here? Her scary, terrifying warrior face instantly melted into pure puppy warmth. Are you exhausted from the grand tour? Want something to drink, Alia? I need a huge favor, can you take me monster hunting? And just like that, her smile completely freezes. She immediately leaps to her feet, showing off all 3 meters and 2 centimeters. She glares right at me, like I just asked her to juggle live grenades. Absolutely not, you are way too weak. Even the weakest trash monsters outside would easily slaughter you. It is just too dangerous. She drags me over to the window, pointing outside. See that? We actually have a training room. Go train there first and get much stronger. Then we can talk about leaving this place. Training room. Turns out, this tribe has these pretty unique rooms, featuring magic formations that purify raw beast energy. From crystal cores for the warriors. They sit, meditate, and slowly absorb it to level up, emphasizing on slowly. Hold on, I say, my brain quickly connecting the dots. So these special rooms run on crystal cores. Why not just absorb the monster cores directly? Alia gives me a look, like I suggested drinking deadly poison for fun, because the power inside those crystals is too chaotic. Direct absorption will seriously injure you, or make you literally explode. Sounds dangerous, but check this out. My system safely converts energy from crystal cores. That is my ultimate cheat code. While everyone else sits in a meditation room for weeks just for a tiny boost, I can literally eat crystals like candy and power up instantly. Now the question is, do I tell Alia about this? My first instinct was a hard no. The system is my biggest secret, if the wrong person ever found out. But then the system chimed in. Relax, host. Alia's affection level is at 100. Maximum absolute loyalty. She would literally die for you. Well, okay then. But before I told her, another question was really bugging me. System, why does your screen show loyalty for men, but affection for women? I mean, pretty suspicious, right? Loyalty measures respect and obedience, based on admiration and recognition. Affection measures romantic attachment, based on attraction and emotional bonds. Both show positive, emotional connections to the host. The difference is just an optimized layout, based on gender, so host shouldn't overthink this. Honestly, I think you're scamming me. Romantic attachment, attraction. You literally rigged this system to make every single woman on this planet fall in love with me. What kind of crazy algorithm is this anyway? I looked at Alia, who is 3 meters tall, then thought about all the other giant women in this tribe, all over 3 meters tall, all apparently weak to my 918 charm. A cold shiver ran straight down my spine. If a group of them ever decided to just grab me, I would not even be able to resist. Especially Alia, with her maxed out affection, and enough combat power to literally bench press a building. Host need not worry. The system only records emotional states. It does not force emotional development. You can choose any interaction style freely. And don't worry, height differences won't affect combat. Just focus on getting stronger. Size differences are completely irrelevant here. Easy for you to say, you're not the one. Staring up at everyone's belly button, Ling Chen. Are you okay? Alia's worried voice snapped me back. I'd just been standing there, arguing with my own mind for too long, making weird faces. I'm fine. Totally fine. I wave my hands. Now check this out. I finally decide to tell Alia. There is something I have to tell you. I'm different. I can absorb crystal cores directly, without any pain. It turns straight into raw combat power. Her eyes instantly went wide. She grabbed my shoulders a little too hard, then immediately let go, terrified she'd broken me. Are you serious? You can absorb cores directly. That's impossible, but it's true. My body is highly special. I can take the wild energy and turn it into strength. That's exactly why I need you to take me hunting. With enough of these cores, I can level up fast. She just stared at me for a long moment. Then, her face suddenly erupted into the biggest smile ever. Scooping me up, she hugged me tight, smothering me right against her chest. Imagine, 2 giant, warm pillows the size of my entire head. That's exactly where my face went. I literally couldn't breathe. Honestly, you can't even blame him for not complaining here. This is absolutely amazing, Ling Chen. I always knew you were special. Then she set me down and switched to serious mode. But we are still being careful. I'll take you to a low-rank monster zone. Near the castle, those weak creatures are nothing to me. I'll handle all the killing while you just collect crystals. Zero danger. I felt genuinely warm inside. She didn't question or doubt me once. Didn't even ask for proof. She instantly started drawing up plans. How to keep me breathing while making me way stronger. Really appreciate it, Alia. Thank me for what? She giggled, patting my head like I was some lost puppy. You're my guy, so obviously I'll keep you safe. My guy. Yeah, there it is again. Without even giving me a vote, she grabbed her giant sword. The blade by itself was way taller than me. She threw on her silver battle gear. Instantly, the whole place got flooded with top-tier energy. Pure fighter aura. Just being near her felt like standing right next to a literal tank. A pretty cute tank. And a super clingy one that wanted to marry me. The heavy gates open as morning sunlight floods in. Out steps Ilya, tall, majestic, and terrifying. And she's holding my hand. Just a pretty small human in weird alien clothes. Getting dragged along. Exactly like some toddler on his very first day of preschool. Guards just stare. Nobody dares to say a word. They just bow down respectfully, while absolutely dying to gossip. She keeps holding my hand the entire way. Her giant palm completely swallows mine. It is warm, strong, and somehow way too gentle for a girl who can crush boulders. As we walk, I look right up at her. She stands tall and proud, with her armor gleaming in the sun. Her build is absolutely ridiculous, sporting proportions that completely defy all reason. Like, each one is way bigger than my entire head. So get this, now my life is getting walked to monster hunts, like some kindergartner, getting taken to school by the most overpowered warrior around, an oversized, deeply in love, protective girlfriend. Honestly, you know what? If this actually gets me crystal cores and raw power, I will gladly hold her giant hand all day long. Priorities, guys, total priorities. Alia had only one rule, stay 2 meters behind her at all times. Safety distance, treat me like some toddler walking right near a swimming pool. Under 10 times gravity, I honestly walk like a baby deer on ice. Every single step felt like a brutal workout, while Alia just strolled along, like she was taking a light weekend walk through the park. Total show-off. Then we reached a giant ground crack. As she peered over the edge, the nest entrance is 30 meters down, -1 meters, and Alia did not hesitate. She literally dove off the cliff, tapping her boots off the rock wall twice, midair just to slow down, landing softly on a lower ledge without a sound. 3 meters and 20 centimeters of pure warrior grace, like a deadly ballerina. Me. I grabbed a vine, sliding down like a sweaty, terrified caterpillar. By the time I hit bottom, soaking wet and gasping for my breath, she was already scoping out the cave mouth. For 5 minutes, probably filed her nails too. The entire entrance was coated in dark red slime. Gross, right? Like walking inside some giant nostril. Inside was way worse. My stomach did backflips. We stood in a massive cavern, -1 meters high and over 100 across, and it absolutely reeked. Suddenly 6 monstrous beasts burst out of 3 tunnels. Imagine a rat crossed with a bat. Then blow it up to the size of a car. Thick black iron armor plating covered their bodies. Massive pincers on their heads made a horrible metallic, screeching sound whenever they snapped shut. Lethal acid dripped from their mouths. Seeing that acid, I almost threw up breakfast, my lunch, and basically my entire childhood. The 6 armored bugs fanned out quickly. Their pincers clicked in rapid succession. They were obviously calling for backup, basically signaling their buddies that dinner has arrived. I am going in, Alia whispered quietly. Watch this. She instantly became a blur. Her very first step cracked the stone floor. The shockwave alone made me stumble. She swung her incredibly massive sword. No fancy moves, no dramatic poses, just one clean, lethal sweep from right to left. The first bug's iron armor split wide open. Its entire body was sliced clean in half like paper. Guts sprayed 5 meters across the dark cave. She didn't even pause, using her brutal momentum. She spun and flipped her massive blade upward, slamming into the second bug as it blocked with pincers. Its pincers shattered completely on contact. Bug number 2 deleted. Bugs 3 and 4 charged from both sides at once. She didn't even bother looking at them. With one casual swing, both split open simultaneously, like she was slicing warm butter with a lightsaber. 2 seconds for those kills, I counted. That's when the last 2 bugs had their panic moment. They started backing away, their pincers clicking frantically. The universal monster language for help. Please, someone save us. She's insane, and Elliot gave them 0 chance. 2 wet thuds, then 2 more corpses. 6 bugs down. She casually flicked slime off her blade, like it was just a minor inconvenience. Go, she said. Grab the cores, so I ran in and began harvesting the crystal cores, right from those dead bugs, like the world's absolute most enthusiastic trash collector. This was my only job, my entire contribution here. She kills everything. I just grabbed the shiny rocks. We were basically like those video game couples, where one player carries, the other just loots. Get ready, because the next 20 minutes became a total massacre. Wave after wave of bugs poured from deep inside the cave, 10, 15, even 20 at a time, all charging in to avenge their fallen comrades. But every single one met that exact fate. Alia's fighting style was incredibly, brutally simple. No complex combos or special moves. Giant sword goes swoosh, bug goes splat on the ground. One swing, one kill. Sometimes two kills, a walking exterminator, wielding a giant blade the size of a surfboard. I just ran around right behind her, scooping up those crystal cores, just like a kid at an Easter egg hunt. 20 cores, 35, 50, 100. That pile kept on growing. By the time she sliced the final bug in half, I had already gathered 250 low-rank crystal cores. The cave went dead silent, with nothing left alive, except for us and some pulsating eggs that I tried incredibly hard not to think about. Alia casually shook the nasty slime off her sword, scanning that massive cave just one final time. Done. Let's go. I just had to ask Alia, exactly how much of your power did you just use? She blinked, visibly surprised by my question. Then she paused to think. Against those low-rank bugs, maybe 30%. She literally just cleared an entire cave of armored, acid-spitting nightmare monsters using only 30% of her strength, like doing your taxes with one hand, while casually eating a sandwich with her other hand. Barely a challenge. Meanwhile, any of those bugs would have eaten me alive in 0.3 seconds. But hey, who cares about pride? With 250 crystal cores, burning a massive hole in your pocket. Let's move, Elias, she said. Grab me, huh? Before I could even process that thought, she easily scooped me up with her strong arm and tucked me tightly against her side, just like a sack of rice, while her other hand held that giant sword. Then she bolted straight toward the wall, that sheer vertical wall, and literally ran straight up it, treating gravity like a mere suggestion she could ignore. 30 meters of absolute sheer cliff face, conquered in a few short breaths. We popped right out at the top, just as the night sky began to settle in. And that, guys, was my very first hunt. Alia's final score. 250 kills, 0 scratches, only 30% effort, but I looked cool the whole time. For me, 0 kills, 0 scratches because I stayed way back, pocketed 250 gems, carried home like groceries. The ultimate power couple here. A warrior goddess and her professional loot goblin. We finally reached the castle deep into the night. Before heading to my room, Alia pulled out a tiny leather pouch and handed it over to me. What is this? 100 mid-rank cores from the clan warehouse. Just for you. I opened the pouch. 100 deep green crystals, each sized like a pigeon egg, glowing softly from within. Watch this. The system lit up like a slot machine. High energy source detected. Convert 100 mid-rank cores for tons of points. Alia, these are way too valuable. I cannot, but she forced my hand closed. You want to get stronger quickly, right? Then take them. Thank you, Alia. You treat me so well. You are my man. Obviously I am good to you. She spoke those words as if it was the most natural law in the universe. Like water is wet, or the sky is blue. Alia completely spoils Lynch. She left me to my training, so I locked the door. I emptied every single crystal onto my table. 250 low-rank cores from the cave, plus 100 mid-rank crystals from Alia. 350. No joke, my eyes literally turned into dollar signs. System, begin absorbing every single one. Confirmed, initiating attribute conversion. I crossed my legs on the hard floor and went into absolute, hardcore gamer grind mode. One crystal after another. Pure energy flooded through my veins like liquid lightning. My muscles expanded, and my bones hardened. Reflexes sharpened dramatically. Honestly, it felt like being microwaved from within, but in a good way, as my stat panel numbers went totally crazy. Strength, 15 to 30, 50, 100, 203, 48 agility, 12, 40, 100, 200, 345 constitution, 113, 140, 200, 300, for -100-50-free charm. Still 918, since that is apparently his defining trait. Overall combat power 11-40-6, mid-rank peak. Our boy stood up and cracked his knuckles. Every single joint popped like firecrackers. He threw a quick punch and the air cracked. A literal sonic boom in 10 times gravity. He pressed his bare fingers into the stone wall, and his fingertips easily sink half a centimeter deep into solid rock. So this is what real power feels like. Incredible. Yesterday, he was basically weaker than a sick chicken. Today, he's mid-rank peak. Who can match him? He is absolutely unstoppable. He was just flexing alone in his room at midnight, like a total lunatic, and honestly, can we blame him? Next morning, wedding day. The castle courtyard was totally packed. Over 1,000 tribe members, all dressed up in their finest monster leather outfits, and beautiful, glowing plant fiber robes, bone necklaces and dyed vine bracelets. A literal, wild prehistoric fashion show. The men averaged over 3 meters tall, while women topped 2.5. A few 5-meter mega giants towered right over the crowd, just like walking apartment buildings. And then there he was, only 188, standing right inside the ceremonial circle, wearing a wedding outfit Alia had custom made for him. But it was still way too big, looking exactly like a kid wearing his dad's suit. 1,000 pairs of giant eyes stared at him, curious, judging, extremely jealous. A total tough crowd, right? Alia softly whispered beside him, "Do not be nervous." She was wearing a gorgeous, pure white ceremonial robe. 3 meters of her looking less like a fierce warrior, and way more like some kind of sacred priestess. Breathtakingly beautiful, making it hard to look directly at her. And honestly, hard to look away. I told her the truth, I wasn't nervous. No longer just a walking corpse. I could finally fight back. Well, sort of. The elders began chanting. Strange, haunting, melodic syllables. Praising the planet, or something similar. Thanking the hunt, praying for children. Babies at my wedding, okay, moving on. Midway through the ceremony. Because let's be real, nothing goes smoothly. The crowd suddenly parted, and a literal mountain of a man pushed into the circle. Standing nearly 4 meters tall, shirtless, covered in scars, with the absolute nastiest, slicing from his shoulder down to his hip, like a massive claw had tried unzipping him. Dozens of tiny braids held his dark hair, with every single tip capped in bone. The guy looked exactly like a final boss. And get this, my system panel popped up. Kalong, Greenwood Tribe, an early-stage high-rank warrior. Height, 3.92. Loyalty, -100. Mortal enemy, -100. What on earth? Just how much does this giant hate me? Usually, the scale maxes out at 100, but this guy somehow maxed it out backward. He did not just dislike me. He wanted me dead and buried, then dug up and killed again. He stopped right in front of me, staring down, way down. I barely hit his waist. He grinned, stained dark red, his teeth glared, sullied from chewing some iron plant, looking like he just ate someone. He yelled for Ilya. His deep voice boomed across the plaza. Is this really your chosen mate? This weak creature smaller than our kids? The crowd gasped as Elias stepped in front of me, voice cold as ice. Kalong, today is my sacred wedding ceremony. If you have any respect for our tribe, back off, show respect. He let out a villainous laugh. I've slain countless beasts for this tribe. My trophy pillar holds the skull of a thunder serpent, carved right on it. And this runt. He jabbed a finger at me. What has he killed? He probably needs you to save him from weak bugs. Every word was true, and that's why it stung. I felt Alia's body tense. Combat mode activated. The chief tried to step in. Kalong, the prayer festival is sacred. Any disputes can wait. But Kalong cut him off. Wait until this outsider becomes Alia's husband. Until he eats our food and uses our resources. Maybe even has children with her. Why should we allow some weak outsider here? He took a step forward, shaking the ground. By ancient tribal law, his voice echoed across every stone in the courtyard. Anyone who disputes a marriage can issue a blood courage challenge. Loser forfeits, and the winner takes all. Chief, you haven't forgotten this law, have you? Dead silence. The entire crowd held their breath. This blood challenge hadn't happened in 20 years. The old folks looked extremely worried. The young ones looked absolutely thrilled. Oh, total popcorn moment. The chief grimaced. That law only applies between tribe members. Linkun is a guest, so the rules do not change. Kalong said, without even blinking. Or are we bending tribal law for one human? Checkmate. Pure political genius. Hearing this giant meathead, Alia gripped her bone blade. She was about to explode, but then a hand, My hand gently pressed down on her wrist. I calmly stepped out from behind her and walked right up to Kalong, tilted my head all the way back to look up at this man, who was literally more than twice my height. His kneecap was right at my chest level. Mid-rank versus high rank. There was still a gap, but I knew something he didn't. I accepted, and the plaza erupted. Elia spun around, her golden eyes wide with shock. Lincoln, you? I said, keeping my eyes locked on Kalong. Not today. Give me 7 days. 7 days from now, right under this totem pillar. A life-or-death battle. No complaints. Honestly, I only needed 1 day of crystal farming to completely surpass him, but I didn't want to humiliate Elia's tribe member. So, I gave him a week. Let him cool off and rethink his life choices. Who am I kidding? We all love some good drama. Kelong studied me, trying to figure out if I was bluffing or totally insane. After a few seconds, he grinned again. 7 days. Sure, that gives you and Elia a few more nights together. He licked his lips, because after 7 days, you'll just be a corpse. He turned and walked off, shaking the ground. The ceremony was ruined. The chief sighed and called it off. The crowd scattered, buzzing with gossip. Elia grabbed my arm so hard my bones creaked. Are you crazy? Keilong is a high-rank warrior. You're not even mid-rank. I turned and smiled. Look at me. Really look. Notice anything different? She paused and stared. Her eyes went wide. You broke through to mid-rank. Since when? Yesterday. You were barely low-rank. How is that even possible? I told you, I can absorb crystal cores directly. Leveling up is just easy mode for me. She actually let out a delighted, proud laugh. I knew I chose right. You really are different. Guys, I mentally rolled my eyes. Yeah, if my 918 charm points weren't controlling you, the only thing you would have done is chop me in half the very first time we met. These next 7 days, I said, take me hunting every single day. Just get me more cores in 1 week. I will show this whole tribe what I can do. Deal. Elia grinned. Let us do it. I turned right toward the sunset, struck a totally dramatic pose, and declared, in 7 days, I will show them what a real genius looks like. The system chimed in, host. Without me, you couldn't even beat a house cat. Shut up, trash system. Don't ruin my vibe when I'm being cool. Their wedding ceremony was the absolute simplest event in the entire history of weddings. No flowers, no cake, no DJ, just a 4-meter-tall grandpa with white hair, standing right under a totem pole, mumbling some ancient words for 10 minutes. And boom, married. That is it. I am a husband now to a 3-meter. Point to warrior woman who kidnapped me 4 days ago. My mom would be so incredibly proud. 1,000 giants packed out the courtyard, all staring at me, like I was some hamster that just married a human, which is honestly pretty accurate. I could hear every single thing they whispered, thanks directly to my enhanced hearing. And let me tell you guys, these giant people have absolutely zero chill. Whenever they start to gossip, is that the little runt Elia chose? He looks just like an unfinished baby. So tiny, but wow. He is pretty handsome. I want him too. 1 single punch is all it would take. 1 hit and he would fly straight into next week. Elia is a high-ranking genius warrior, so her husband should be on her level. That shrimp probably cannot even beat a low-rank newbie. Low rank? I doubt he is even that. Every single comment was like a precision-guided missile, aimed directly at my self-esteem. But I just stood there with a straight face, hands resting at my sides, posing in the respectful warrior stance Elia taught me, calm and dignified. But inside, I was screaming. They weren't even trying to whisper. Honestly, they didn't think they had to. To them, I was just incredibly small. Hiding their opinions, totally unnecessary. It's like trash talking right in front of a hamster. What's the little guy gonna do? Get offended? And yeah. Oh, this hamster was absolutely offended. Once the ceremony ended, the chief pulled me aside, a figure of ancient authority, walking slowly so my tiny legs could keep up. As we walked through the castle, every single detail reminded me this world wasn't built for someone like me. Each stair was literally half a meter tall. I literally had to hop just to climb up them. Door frames were 3.5 meters. I felt like a 5-year-old sneaking into his dad's study. Inside his study sat a giant stone desk. A beastskin map lay spread across it. Glowing monster skulls sat in the corner. Massive weapons lined the walls. Very cozy if you're a 3-meter-tall warrior, but pretty terrifying if you're me. He sat down in a massive stone chair. It was basically a small stage. He looked at me and got straight to business. Ilya really insisted on this marriage. It's her right as a high-ranking warrior. But you need to know a few things. He says, go ahead. I don't care about your past. She chose you, so just don't break her heart. I won't. Ilya's been pretty amazing to me. Even if she did literally kidnap me. But I actually think she's pretty great. He seemed satisfied. Wait till you hear this. I asked him about the continent. And he pulled out that giant beastskin map. Our continent is called the Red Earth continent. It's absolutely massive. You can't cross it without some serious strength. There are other entire continents beyond it, but I've never actually been there. He taps his massive finger on a tiny green map dot. Right here, the Forgotten Hills. Right on our Greenwood tribe's edge. We are just one of 17 small local tribes. 17 groups, and ours is pretty much the absolute weakest. Neighbors push us around constantly. Ilya was their only real hope. The ultimate star prodigy of the tribe. So her suddenly choosing to marry me was a shocker. The chief admits he was utterly shocked and worried. Fair. Totally fair. Get ready for this. He says Ilya is only 82. She still has a pretty long future ahead. I blinked twice. Did he say 82? Yeah. She looks super young because she is. Wait. She actually looks like she is in her 20s. See, their people live up to 500 years. I start doing some quick mental math. 82 out of a 400-year lifespan. That basically makes her a 20-year-old human. My new wife is basically a college girl. An 82-year-old college girl. Who stands 3 meters tall and can easily bench press a whole building. This planet is crazy, but the chief keeps talking. His tone stays flat. By our tribal law, marriage partners must be within one single cultivation tier of each other. In terms of raw power, you are nowhere near Ilya. Honestly, you fight just like one of our toddlers. Ouch. Getting roasted by a giant grandpa on my own wedding day. Beautiful. What he does not know is I already reached mid-rank. Using my system, I hid my power. No need to show my cards yet, but mid-rank is still a whole tier below Ilya's level. He is right, but only for now. Just give me a few days of crystal hunting, and I will easily surpass everyone in this room. This castle. Seriously, nobody in this entire region could touch me. Then the chief sighs, you simply do not deserve her. Brutal honesty with zero sugarcoating. Just a 4-meter-tall giant grandpa telling me that I'm not good enough. Right on the day I married their tribe's ultimate warrior. But she absolutely insisted, and I couldn't stop her. He let out this deep sigh. It sounded like wind howling through a massive canyon. So please, just never hurt her. The entire room fell silent. I just stood there. A 1.88-meter human in giant alien wedding gear. Having just survived the most terrifying fatherly speech. Actually, make that the scariest in galactic history. So let's break down this crazy situation. I am officially married to an 82-year-old teen. And I live in a fortress built for literal giants. Half the tribe thinks I'm just a joke, while the other half literally wants to kidnap me. And get this, the 4-meter psycho wants me dead in 7 days. The chief thinks my strength matches a weak infant. Oh, and I literally have to jump to clear doorways. But secretly, I'm hoarding massive power like a savings account, with serious compound interest. Each harvested crystal core pushes me one step higher. Every single day is a level up. Just 7 days, Kaelon, because this toddler is about to completely shut you down. But the giant chief wasn't finished with me yet. Ilya is our tribe's only hope. He spoke, every heavy word crashing down like a boulder. She's the one destined to lead us out of this harsh wasteland. The one to secure our future. Now that she has chosen you, you have exactly one job. Never become her weakness. Do not distract her. Keep her safe. And don't you dare get her killed. I locked eyes directly with the massive giant. Well, looking straight up into them. For meters of absolute ancient authority. Staring down at his tiny alien husband. Honestly, Chief Eli has been quite good to me. He offered me shelter and real respect. I won't make empty promises. But as long as I breathe, I won't be dead weight. And as for proving if I'm worthy, I just let myself smile. A little strength can always be built up, right? He glared at me for so long. I genuinely thought he was about to squash me flat. Then, just barely, the edge of his stone-carved mouth twitched up. He leans back, calling me interesting. About Calhoun's blood courage challenge. You know I cannot step in. Ilya cannot fight for you either. You are totally solo. If you win, no one will doubt you again. If you lose, he trails off. No need to finish. I won't lose. He raises an eyebrow but keeps quiet. Right then, the door opens and Ilya appears. She is wearing a dark ceremonial robe. Even in simple clothes, her gorgeous figure Well, let us just say the robe was struggling to hold her curves in. The chief looks at both of us and waves his hand, telling us to go. Ilya walks over, towering. I was slowly getting used to this. Everyone constantly looking down at me, but her sheer size up close still triggers a primal alarm in my brain, screaming that this giant creature is massive. Run, Lynch, it is time to go back. And then, oh boy, you are not ready for this. She leans down, scoops me up, and gives me a full princess carry. One giant arm is supporting my back, the other holds my knees. I am totally airborne. My remaining dignity completely vanishes. Wait, Ilya. Put me down, I can walk. You walk way too slow, she shrugs, as if it is the most obvious thing on the planet. It takes you 20 minutes to reach our tower, but I can run us there in 3. But wait, this is just wrong. People are staring at us. And oh, they absolutely were. Every giant in the corridor froze to stare. Shocked faces, curious faces, jealous looks, and smirking giants. A crowd of young, giant girls covered their mouths and giggle. And right there, I was being princess, carried through a castle full of 3-meter-tall aliens. On my wedding night, if anyone back on Blue Star saw me now, my reputation as a tough, independent astronaut would be totally vaporized. Ilya asked me what was wrong with it, already marching right out of the hall. You are my husband. Me carrying you is completely within our tribal tradition. But she started running up the tower stairs, keeping me tucked in her arms. She charged up those steep stone steps at full speed, carrying a grown man like he weighed absolutely nothing, and not even slightly out of breath, to keep from falling. I grabbed the front of her robe for dear life. She let out a low, rumbling chuckle. I felt the vibration right through her chest, and she seemed pretty damn pleased with herself. And honestly, who could blame me for just giving up? The night sky on Kepler was a deep purple red. I tried to tilt my head back to see her face, but my view was completely blocked by her chest. 2 massive obstacles stood between us and eye contact, each one clearly bigger than my entire head. The view was well. I will let you guys picture that view for yourselves. My feelings were a total mess of contradictions. Absolutely embarrassed. I'm a 28-year-old man, and back on Blue Star, I was the leader, the protector, the guy who carried everyone else. I once crash-landed a spaceship on an alien planet, and my first move was calculating our survival odds. I don't do vulnerability, and I definitely don't get carried. But if I'm being completely honest, it actually felt pretty nice, like being a kid again. Just completely safe, warm, and protected. That was a feeling I hadn't allowed myself in years, because there was always another mission, with constant responsibility. Always 8 billion people counting on my shoulders. But right now, Elia didn't care what anyone thought. She did not care about the stares or the whispers. Only one thing mattered to her right now. Dragging me straight up to our room. Our wedding room, Ling Shun. Her voice was incredibly calm and steady, as her steps echoed up the spiral staircase. Tonight, I want you to truly become my man. My brain completely short-circuited. Blue screen of death. System reboot required. Are giant women on this planet always this direct? Honestly, how are you even supposed to say no? She smelled like fresh, green grass, mixed with something soft and sweet. I could feel the subtle shift of her muscles as she climbed. Her steady, strong heartbeat pressed right against my side. I stopped resisting. What was even the point? We reached the top floor, and she kicked the door open. No lock, of course. This tribe, apparently, they never invented the concept of privacy. She stepped inside and gently, so gently, set me down on the bed. Warm room, soft fur blankets. She stood tall and looked down at me. Those pale, her gold eyes were glowing softly in the dim light. Like 2 little moons, her expression completely calm. But underneath that calm lay something intense and unmistakable. Ling Shun, tonight, her voice was steady. Without a single waver, we consummate our marriage. I stared at her. Wait, excuse me? Consummate? She blinked. The tiniest flicker of doubt crossed her face. If you do not want to, should I leave? I will leave, she repeated. She looks just like a kicked puppy right now. And you refuse to throw it. I let out the deepest sigh of my life. Across 2 different planets. Well, you are already here. There was zero escape. The door had no lock. She was 3 meters tall with maxed out affection. And the wedding was official. The chief had given his full blessing, and the entire tribe expected this. But despite everything, she was genuinely gorgeous in a way that scrambled my brain. So fine. Let's do this because I can probably handle it. Hopefully, maybe? Survival was not the real question. It was whether my lower half could survive. And there I was, standing in a quiet stone bedroom, looking straight up at my wife, 3 meters and 20 centimeters of warrior woman. Her massive shadow swallowed me whole, like I was standing under a skyscraper. The ceiling was incredibly low, which somehow made her giant frame look even more massive. I took a deep breath in 10 times gravity. Your lungs feel completely heavy, like breathing thick soup. I tilted my head back, staring at those glowing gold irises, and summoned every single molecule of courage my body had ever produced. Ilya, you need to take off that armor. I am telling you, armor off strategy. Establish absolute dominance. Even if our size difference was absolutely crazy, like an absolute toddler facing an adult, I had to stay in control. A man has pride, even at half her height, with barely a tenth of her strength. She froze, those porcelain cheeks slowly turning pink, then red, then full-on crimson. She tilted her head away, dodging my stare. Her voice dropped about 8 octaves. Okay, do not be so aggressive about it. Wait, she was actually being shy. The woman who ripped my safety pod open, just like a cereal box. The woman who crushed 250 bugs, without even breaking a sweat, blushing just because I said armor off. That 918 charm is doing things I never expected. She reached for the first clasp on her chest. The first piece hit the floor. Click, a heavy thud that echoed through the silent room. My breathing hitched just a little. Click, click, click. Another piece. Third, then fourth. Heavy plates rained down like metal hail. When the last piece finally drops, she is left in just a thin undershirt, crafted from some unbelievably soft animal fur. It clings to every single curve like it was literally painted on. My eyes instantly contract. I had tried to picture her, hidden under all that heavy armor. She's 3 meters tall, meaning everything is going to be proportionally massive. I honestly believed I was fully prepared for it. But trust me, I was not ready. Striking lines and curves that defy physics. Powerful broad shoulders flow into a beautifully sculpted back, leading down to an impossibly narrow waist by comparison. Those powerful hips and legs, built like they could kick straight through castle walls, yet somehow still looking like they belong on a runway. And up top, the shadows in this dim light are incredibly deep, almost architectural, like someone had specifically designed this, just to completely short-circuit a guy's brain. My throat makes a loud, nervous gulp as I swallow, echoing embarrassingly loud in the dead silence. Quiet room, brother. I whispered to a very specific, lower part of myself. You really need to stand strong tonight. 3 parts sheer panic, 7 parts pep talk. Suddenly, the shadow shifts. I don't even see her hand coming. Watch closely. She moves in an instant. Next, her massive palm, smooth, pale fingers longer than my entire forearm, clamps around my waist, hoisting me clean off the ground. My feet dangle 30 centimeters in the air. Hanging there, I am now eye level with her collarbone. Looking up, I can see her face clearly. Those flawless features, piercing golden eyes staring down at me without blinking. Let us begin, she says deeply. So direct, dead serious, like she is announcing a massive military operation. Just dangling there in the air, held up by a single hand. My body is completely trapped in her grip, like some toy action figure. My internal threat levels instantly spiked from a cautious yellow to flashing crimson. Hold on, I stammered. Even I could hear the sheer terror cracking through my voice. Elia, isn't this going quite fast? Normally people need to, build up some emotional connection first. Get some proper build-up first. She tilted her head, long hair brushing softly over my shoulder. The wedding vows are done. Tribal law says tonight is the night we mate. Her voice rumbled deep inside her chest. I felt that physical vibration travel straight from her hand, through my entire body, all the way down south. No, what I actually mean is, my mind started racing at absolute warp speed, desperately trying to construct any logical excuse. Too late, she is closing in right now. Those golden, piercing eyes loomed larger and larger in my vision, until I saw my own terrified reflection in her gaze. I threw out every single logical defense. Every attempt to stall, every bit of resistance, gone. Pure instinct took complete control. And just a short minutes later, time lost all meaning. Looking back on it all afterward, all I can recall are blurry, chaotic flashes. Total sensory overload. It was like trying to remember an incredibly intense dream. By the time the room finally fell silent, I was resting flat next to Ilya, like a tiny child sleeping next to their parent. The massive size difference, unreal. Think of a tiny travel pillow next to a massive king-size mattress. That was us, Shin. You were incredible, she whispered, her voice sounding incredibly lazy, satisfied, and cozy, like a cozy cat in a sunbeam. My brain literally stalled for 3 whole seconds trying to process that. He really is something special, my guy, she added, absolutely beaming with pride. That exact kind of pride you hear from someone showing off a massive trophy. I just stared blankly at the dark ceiling for 2 seconds. In my head, I rolled my eyes so hard they almost got stuck. Seriously, do not lie to me. Nearly all 99 affection points you have are held in place by my crazy 918 charm stat. If my crazy looks had not blinded you, you would have judged my skills, stamped a big fail on my face, and kicked me straight out the window. Like trash. But out loud, I just cleared my throat, croaking out a weak laugh with a hoarse voice, totally faking it with absolutely zero confidence. I was definitely fooling nobody here. Except, well, apparently I fooled Alia, because she looked totally satisfied. With that, she just laid back down, wrapping her massive arm right around me, pulling me close against her side. My face was pressed against her ribs, feeling the solid muscle beneath her skin. I could feel her heart thumping, slow and heavy, steady and powerful like a drum. Each beat echoed through my whole body, keeping the rhythm, marking the pulse of this wild world. It felt surprisingly peaceful. Hey Ilya. So, I spoke up. I leaned back to look up at her jaw, which was pretty much all I could see here. Take me hunting again tomorrow, okay? I have to get stronger as fast as possible. Okay, she replied softly, her fingers running through my hair, which was still wet on my forehead, brushing it back with slow movements. She was clumsy, like she never did this. But she was really trying to do it right. I believe in you. Thanks, Alia. She did not reply, just kept holding me close. The stone room fell completely silent now, with only the sound of our breathing matching up, safe inside her warm, massive embrace, held like a fragile, precious little doll, by a woman who could crush mountains. I drifted off. My very first night married on a wild alien planet, with a wife twice my own height. After a wedding night performance I will never discuss. Day 1 survived, barely. Now, day 12. Then, get this, my giant wife takes me to work. We pushed through these thick, waist-high red ferns. Waist-high for her was chest-high for me. Her steps, 3 whole meters each. I literally have to jog just to keep up. She is just taking a lazy stroll. For me, a full marathon. Half an hour later, we stop right at another crack in the ground. This canyon is way wider than yesterday's, and from deep down comes a horrible scratching noise. Thousands of hard shells grinding against each other, like a million nasty cockroaches having a massive party. Rock skin, tied ants. Yulia whispers, her hand already drawing her blade. Their nest is below, but this time, I realize something. Wait, I grab her wrist, which forces me to reach way up over my head, like a little kid reaching for the top cookie shelf. Change of plans, I say, as she looks down, confused. Beat these monsters down to their very last breath. Do not kill them, leave the final blow for me. Watch close now. I was so focused on crystal cores yesterday that I completely forgot a basic feature of my own system. Killing monsters myself gives me free, customizable stat points. Points I can dump absolutely anywhere. Those crystal cores, they auto-distribute evenly across my stats. But kill points, those go into a savings account that I can spend however I want. 2 income streams, crystal cores for bulk leveling, and personal kills for precision upgrades. It is like a salary and a side hustle. I burst out laughing like a complete madman. Could not help it, the future was too bright. I needed sunglasses. Ilya stares at me like I lost my mind. Her eyebrows knit together in deep worrying. Linkson, are you doing okay? Is it because of last night? Are you hurting anywhere? I'm fine, never been better. Let's go, remember. Leave them one breath from death. The final blow is mine. She still looked concerned, but she did what she always does. Trusted me completely. Asking nothing, she jumped into the pit. Watch this, things got incredibly hilarious next. The most lopsided grind in gaming history. Elia became a surgical destruction machine. Her blade cracked open the ants' rock-hard shells, slicing off their legs, cutting their antennae. But she deliberately avoided every single kill shot. Each ant was the size of a cow, screaming and thrashing around on the ground, completely helpless but still technically alive. Then I would waddle up behind her with my weapon of choice, a tiny, primitive stone hammer. I borrowed from the tribe's storage room, because her massive sword was literally too heavy for me. Here I was with a tiny hammer, while my gorgeous wife wielded a blade bigger than my body. I would find the soft spot, where Elia had cracked their thick armor open, raise the hammer over my head with both hands, and smash. Ding, rock, skin python was slain. 5 free attribute points are stored. Ding, 5 points stored. Ding, 1. The system notifications kept ringing in my head, just like a slot machine hitting jackpot. Over and over, every single ding was pure dopamine. I was literally the laziest, most spoiled leveler you will ever see. She did 99% of the work, and I just showed up at the end to bonk each helpless monster with my hammer and collect all the free loot. Elia, meanwhile, was expertly cracking open dead ants and extracting their crystal cores. She pushed the entire pile over to me without hesitation. These crystal cores look way better than yesterday's loot. My body is begging to absorb them. But hold on, I managed to resist. First, I need some answers. System, can I manually assign the points from these cores? Just like with standard kill points. System says no. Core points are automatically distributed, split evenly across your 3 main stats. Kind of disappointing, but whatever. Bulk upgrades go to automatic distribution, while kills offer precision targeting. 2 paths to power. But then, another massive question hit me. Listen to this. Why does my status panel show 4 attributes instead of 3? Strength, agility, constitution, and charm. I need an explanation. The system actually went quiet. 3 whole seconds of absolute silence. That had literally never happened before. The charm attribute is the host's natural, innate trait. It was not created by this system. This system merely detected it, measured it, and displayed it numerically on your panel. You complete liar, you totally slapped that stat onto me. In a crazy world packed with giant women, you are trying to get me killed, or worse. You want to turn me into some weird, species ladies man, is that the plan? Make me the galaxy's first involuntary harem. Protagonist, Linchin, why are you spacing out again? Alio's voice suddenly yanks me back to reality. She's crouching right there in front of me. Her massive frame is still. Golden eyes watching me with that same gentle, patient concern. I quietly look up at her, then down at my pathetic little hammer, then back at the pile of crystal cores, then back up at her. Let's keep moving. Onto the next cave. She nods and stands. Blade ready, and off we go. The warrior goddess and her hammer-wielding loot goblin, just grinding levels inside alien monster caves. Most couples go to the beach for their honeymoon. We choose pure alien bug extermination. Romantic? Not really. Efficient? Absolutely. We finally get back after clearing out another monster cave. Once night falls, I slam the stone door shut and get straight to business. System, total up everything we got today. Absorb all crystal cores. Put every stat point from our kills into strength. Ding, calculating now. Absorption complete. Strength, 1000. Agility, 600. Constitution, 600. Combat power, 2200. That is high rank peak plus. I unlocked a new skill, Ground Shaker Heavy Fist. 50% boost. It completely ignores half of any equal rank enemy's defense. Just 2 days ago, I was just a crippled astronaut, moving slower than a regular chicken. Now I am at high rank peak, stronger than Elia, way stronger than my wife. I punch the solid wall to test it. My knuckles shatter the solid rock like it is styrofoam, leaving a perfect knuckle imprint behind. As gravel rains down, I suddenly dash away, sprinting so fast, leaving an afterimage, a real shadow clone trailing behind. Just think, I used to struggle in high-rank monster caves. Now, I can go toe-to-toe with super-rank beasts. I am a walking natural disaster. Disguised as a short guy, I can really feel it. I am stupid strong now, haha. Host, you are welcome. This system is the greatest. 2 compliments and you are already getting cocky. You trash system. Next morning, I throw on clean gear and walk out. Alia is waiting in the hallway like a loyal retriever. Going hunting again today, obviously. But today, I am killing the monsters. You just stand on the side and cheer. See, I am ridiculously powerful now. Really, my man, your crystal absorption ability is pretty incredible. But why exactly do you want me to cheer? Just do it, okay? Fine, I will cheer. We walk side by side through the castle. No more of her leading while I scurry behind. Side by side as equal partners. A 3-meter-tall warrior goddess, and a 1-meter-88 human weapon of mass destruction, walking in perfect step. We barely even reached the central courtyard before a very familiar, obnoxious voice sliced through the morning air. "Oh, look, well, if it isn't our little guest, still hiding behind Alia's skirt today. Callum, of course, almost 4 meters of pure dumb muscle, swaggering right over with his posse, smirking down at me like I was a complete joke. He never got tired of telling. I heard you went monster hunting yesterday." He deliberately loomed right over me, dripping with pure condescension. "You wet yourself. Did your little legs shake when you saw those big, scary bugs? You are probably still low rank at best. Huh? Want me to send one of my guys to spar with you, just so you do not embarrass our tribe by crying right in front of the monsters?" Wait for it. The passing tribe members all slowed down to watch. Giant people seriously love drama. Everyone's eyes said the exact same thing. That tiny man has no chance against Callum. "Callum, shut your mouth." Elias stepped forward, shielding me. "You do not get to disrespect Ling Chen's strength. I am just stating facts," Callum sneered, looking right past her at me. 7 days from now, at the totem pillar, I will show you what a real Kepler warrior looks like. You are nothing but trash hiding behind a woman." But get this, just 2 days ago, those words would have stung because they were true. I was hiding behind Alia, and I was weak, essentially, a parasite freeloading off my wife's combat power. But right now, my combat power was 2200. Callum was just a high-rank beginner. I was a high-rank peak, and our gap was no gap. It was an absolute canyon, besides the chief. Probably no one in this whole tribe could touch me now. Yet here was this guy, standing in front of me, yapping his head off like a rabid chihuahua, barking at a lion that just had not decided to eat him. I felt absolutely zero anger. No rage, no offense. Just totally amused, like watching a toddler try to fight a heavyweight. I gave Kalong a single, deadpan, icy look, totally unbothered, but something in my gaze made him flinch hard. His entire body locked up. A cold shiver visibly ran straight through him. His underlings actually stepped backward. You feel that is what real power is. No need to even show off. People just feel it. I casually turned to Ilya. "Stop wasting time on clowns. Let us go hunt." I walked right past Kalong, treating him like some useless piece of furniture. My footsteps sounded slow, heavy, and steady, each step grinding into the stone with massive weight. His entire crew split wide open like a curtain to let us through, instincts moving their bodies before their brains could react. Kalong just stood there frozen, watching me walk away while his face turned green, pale and purple, clenching his fists until his knuckles loudly popped. "You are faking this," he screamed at my back. 7 days and I tear that mask off, showing the whole world what a fake you are. I did not even look back. 7 days, pal. You really want to fight me then? By then, I might actually have to hold back, simply to avoid accidentally painting you like a fresh stain on the floor. Elia and I strolled right through the castle gates, warm morning sun hitting our faces. She shot me a glance filled with shock and pride. Elia could feel it, too, power rolling off my body like heat from a furnace. I just smiled, cold and quiet. Kalon really thought that totem pillar. They thought this fight would expose my weakness. Instead, today was going to be the day. The entire tribe learns that the little runt they always whispered about is actually the strongest person in these halls. Well, second strongest. I think the chief still has me beat, but give me another day or two. We will see. Today, Elia followed behind me. Right behind me. For the first time since landing here, that 3.2-meter iron giant walked in my shadow. Sure, my shadow is smaller than hers, but you get the point. We arrived. Steel Claw Fox Den, straight ahead. Perfect. Today, I destroy you. Stand back, cheer me on, and yell 666. You want me to yell 666? Yes, it is mandatory. Alright, check this out. Watch my fists closely. Monsters are dead. 3 steel claw foxes explode out from the bushes. Sleek blue black fur and razor-sharp claws glinting wildly. Screeching, lunging right at me. Yesterday, I would have hidden behind Alia, screaming, "Save me, big sister," but today, I charged forward, my foot slamming down so hard that the stones shattered. I launched forward like a total cannonball, cocking my right fist back to smash the first beast. Could not even see the strike, just heard a massive boom, and the fox vanished. Not dead, completely gone, literally vaporized into dust. Not even one bone fragment remained. Alia's jaw hit the floor, completely frozen and blinking, just trying to process this madness. Even she could not one-punch a monster into oblivion. 666, Shin. How are you suddenly stronger than me? It has only been 2 days. Told you I am built different. The other two beasts just stared in absolute shock. Honestly, their brains were buffering. Wait, did that tiny thing just delete our friend? I did not let them finish thinking. Left hook, right hook, to sonic booms. Two dead beasts, their limp bodies hitting the dirt like deflated balloons. Shiny crystal cores rolling everywhere. Man, that feels amazing. I cracked my knuckles, wearing a stupidly wide grin. This was straight up cheat code energy. 1 hit, 1 kill, absolutely zero effort. Just pure violence. Like bringing an atomic bomb to a pillow fight. One sneaky fox tried lunging from behind. I casually stepped aside and threw a heavy hook. The beast literally exploded into pieces before hitting the ground. 666, you're amazing. Shin, obviously. Hey, look who is punching. More of them kept leaping from the trees, crawling out from behind rocks. An entire forest population showing up to get wrecked. I actually stopped moving and just stood in place, throwing punches left and right, exactly like playing a game of whack-a-mole. Boom, boom. Down they go. I even started counting. 1, 2, 3. Wait, that one ran too fast. Doesn't count. Redo. Elia was cheering so hard her jaw was getting sore. Every kill meant another round of praise. You have to love having a dedicated one-woman hype squad. A few foxes actually managed to land hits. Their sharp claws dragged across my skin, only leaving a white scratch. Didn't even break the skin, and it healed into seconds flat. Unstoppable, an absolute punching machine, a walking tank that hits back. After wiping out the entire valley, I was still itching for action. Got anything else? That was just a quick warm-up. I can go 300 more rounds. Alia glanced up at the sky, which was turning crimson. There is a Fang Wolf cave just to the west. High-tier monsters, much more dangerous. But we have to hurry before night falls. Super rank beasts roam around then. They are incredibly fast, and they can smell you from miles away. Plus, they are stronger than me. Super rank, my eyes instantly lit up. But wait, I was already at high rank peak. So a super rank peak, finally, a real challenge. And getting completely thrashed on. Day 3 of my marriage was not the plan. Alright, Fang Wolves, let's speedrun this cave before sunset. The cave smelled like absolute death, like something rotted, revived, and died again. 2 massive Fang Wolves lunged out instantly, each the size of a small bull, with giant tusks sticking out like sabers. No fear, just pure excitement. Come at me and let's see your strength. My right fist slams their skulls, boom. Its head caved. It didn't even get to whimper before collapsing. The second Wolf charged, but I easily sidestepped. Back-fisted it straight on the spine. Crack, a clean bone break. Down it went. That was it. Disappointing. I really expected a challenge. But heading deeper, I found more. Way more wolves inside. Even bigger ones. Elite versions with thick fur and nasty faces. Still did not matter. I smashed through them like a bowling ball, smashing pins with fists flying. Wolves dying, with crystal cores piling up behind me. We walked out just as darkness took over. Suddenly, a horrible shriek echoed from afar, sounding like a dinosaur gargling gravel. Ilya grabbed my hand and immediately bolted. Run, the super rank monsters are here. She dragged me along at full speed. I just ran beside her. But inside, oh, you know he's already scheming. Next time, I am definitely going back for that super rank monster. Just one more power up. Back inside the tower room, door sealed. I slumped down into the stone chair. System, absorb it all. Ding, absorption complete. Strength, 1676. Agility, 916. Constitution, 1058. Current combat power, 3650. Late super rank. Plus, my heavy fist skill just leveled up. It now adds 50% of my strength as bonus damage, and completely bypasses half of same rank defense. I threw my head back, laughing out loud. 3 days ago, couldn't walk. 2 days ago mid-rank. Yesterday peak high rank. Today, super rank late stage. Aliyah stared at the energy swirling around my body. Her golden eyes went wide with pure shock. Even she, the warrior woman, who watched me go from cripple to absolute beast, in record time, couldn't believe this. I squeezed my fist tight, feeling enough raw power to shatter a whole mountain. You think Kalong still wants to challenge me now? Forget him, I could probably crush the chief. That clown has no idea what is coming. As evening settled in, Aliyah called from the bed. Shin, come and rest. I looked back at her with my most royal expression. channeling every bit of my 918 charm. Aliyah, undress me. Your emperor commands it, and she blushed. The strongest warrior in the entire tribe blushed. Being completely overpowered is great, but making a 3-meter giant woman blush on command, that is the real endgame. Morning. Day 4 on this wild planet. Standing at the castle gate like I owned the place, Aliyah walked up behind me in her tight beast skin armor. All 3.2 meters of pure warrior curves. Shin, you were so incredible yesterday. Now, if anyone heard that out of context, they would instantly get the wrong idea. But she was just talking about the monster fights. Seriously, get your dirty minds out of the gutter. Obviously, your boy is just terrifying. Time to hunt. We finally reached the monster zone. And something pretty beautiful happened. Every single beast could sense my power. They were too terrified to even come near me. The same guy who 4 days ago lay like a broken pancake on the dirt. Now, monsters were literally hiding from me. So, I hard stomped the ground. Every single step made the whole earth shake. That 10 times gravity that nearly killed me on day 1 felt like absolutely nothing now. Just like taking a moonwalk. My whole body overflowed with raw energy. Giant bugs began crawling out of the soil. Literally hundreds of them. Their armored shells gleaming in the morning sun. 4 days ago, one of these meant my certain death. Now watch close. I activated my heavy fist. Brilliant golden energy wrapped tightly around my hand. Blazing like a tiny sun, I swung down and smashed the hard earth. The ground literally exploded. A violent shockwave ripped outward from the impact point. Spider webbed across the dirt in every single direction. Dozens of monsters inside the blast radius just detonated. Shells instantly shattered. Crystal cores and gross green goo sprayed everywhere, like the world's most disgusting pinata. System notifications started going absolutely crazy in my head. Ding ding, ding ding, just endless kill after kill. 1 punch, 50 monsters down. Dopamine levels completely maxed. Yulia stood right behind me, weapon raised, ready to help. She froze mid-swing with her jaw completely hanging open. She stutters, how? Yesterday you weren't this strong. In just 1 night. And now your single punch feels stronger than the chief's. Huh? Yeah, that's exactly what happens when you absorb a whole mountain of crystal cores. Right before bed, suddenly, 3 armored beasts with toxic green spines burst out of the tunnel, far larger than the normal bugs. The exact kind that would normally require Ilia's help. A few days ago, I zipped forward. My agility stat was through the roof. I literally left an afterimage behind, dodging their spike attacks easily, like they were moving in slow motion, and golden fisted all 3 into instant dust. Aliyah stood right there watching, arms crossed, her face bright red, not from anger, but from sheer awe. The absolute most lethal warrior in her tribe, blushing hard because her tiny husband was busy punching monsters straight into atoms. She crouched down to help gather crystal cores, and her fingers accidentally brushed against mine. She flushed even redder. This same woman who rips armored bugs right in half with her sword. Imagine that, getting flustered touching my hand. Lin-kun, you are seriously amazing. Her voice turned soft and shy, like a completely different person now, from that fearsome battle goddess. When I first found you on that red plain a few days ago, I never imagined that in just a few days, you would grow so strong even I cannot keep up. Can you blame me? My ego literally reached planetary levels. Naturally. Do you even know who your husband is? I said, but then, blame the victory high. Blame it on her blushing face. Or blame it on temporary insanity. I did something incredibly stupid and incredibly brave. I spun around and reached for her chest. Look, she is 3 meters tall. With my arms raised, that is the exact level of my hands. It is pure geometry, not perversion. She definitely did not see that coming. Her body jerked backward instinctively, her entire face instantly turning the color of a tomato, blushing all the way to her ears, eyes wide with shock. Lin-kun, you are so bad. Her voice went completely soft and sweet, the exact opposite of that stone-cold killer, who easily one-shots high-ranked beasts. And yet, instead of blasting me into orbit, which she totally could, she actually leaned in closer. Somehow, my surprise attack just made her fall harder. I ended up laughing until my stomach actually ached. This woman, a ridiculously gorgeous, 3-meter-tall, monster-slaying powerhouse, just a blushing giant of a woman. She says that is enough for today. Let us head back. Sure thing, Alia. Carry me home. I really don't feel like walking. She smiled and crouched down, scooping me right up in a full princess carry. her absolute specialty, as she started walking toward the castle. My 1 meter 80 body was cradled in her massive arms like a little baby. The first time she did this, I screamed and kicked, but now, I literally requested it. Talk about major character development, right? Nestled quite comfortably in her warm, massive arms, I asked her a question that had been lingering in my head. Elia, are you always going to love me? Of course, I will love you forever. Wherever you go, I will follow. We will never be apart. That is good, but deep down inside, I kept wondering if this charm magic would ever fade. Would she still feel the exact same way? Or is she going to wake up one morning, look at me, and wonder why on earth she married such a tiny man? I quickly shook the thought away. No point stressing over useless hypotheticals, especially when you are currently being carried by a giant who deeply loves you. We get back to the castle, and look who is waiting. Oh, look who it is. The little shrimp. What happened to you? Did some weak little monster beat you up so badly you cannot even walk, having your woman carry you back? Pathetic. Callum is standing there with his chest puffed out, grinning like the world's biggest, dumbest bully, boasting about our upcoming match at the arena. I am going to thrash you so hard, your own parents will not even recognize you, runt. Elia's entire expression instantly went cold. Callum, shut your mouth. He is not hurt. I am carrying him because I want to. I just stared at Callum from the cozy safety of my wife's arms. Warm, comfortable, totally unbothered. I mean, what even was his combat power? Just high-tier beginner, while I was late-stage super rank. The difference between us was just hilarious, like comparing a bicycle to a supersonic fighter jet. Elia, do not bother. He is a clown. Let's go home. Humph. Useless trash. Callum spat in anger as Elia carried me to our room. Still fuming over how that horrible Callum keeps bullying you. Promise me you will crush him at the arena. Relax, he is a clown. I do not even think about him. I leaned back onto the bed and gave her my most imperial, commanding look. Now then, Elia, address your emperor. Do not let a mere clown ruin our evening. Yes, my lord. Life on Kepler 666b. Punching giant beasts into dust by day. Getting princess carried home by my massive warrior wife. And ending every night like an absolute emperor. 4 days ago, I was literally dying in a crater. Not a bad upgrade, right? I woke up clinging to Elia like a needy koala. Like hugging a massive redwood tree, refusing to move. And can you blame me? She was so warm. She felt incredibly soft and smelled exactly like fresh flowers. Her skin was completely flawless, and those golden flecked eyes looked like tiny galaxies. Seriously, just look at her figure. Imagine the most beautiful woman you have ever seen. Now scale her up to 3 meters tall, and multiply everything by an absurd amount. Then there was me, barely 1 meter 80, clinging to her body like a backpack, a 28-year-old virgin my entire life. Until a giant alien woman literally kidnapped me, and completely speedrun our entire relationship, from complete strangers to married with benefits in 4 days. I lay there having a massive existential crisis about the ridiculous size difference in our relationship. Architecturally, some things are just too challenging. My self-esteem had taken some pretty serious hits, in departments I really won't discuss publicly. Naturally, my brain drifted into pretty weird territory. Could any of the guys back on Blue Star manage a 3-meter-tall giant girlfriend, like, really handle her? Honestly, we need a real survey. Ding. Post. Okay, thoughts completely derailed. Abort mission, return to the plot immediately. The system literally just yelled at me for daydreaming. Even my cheat code knows I'm a mess. I coughed, shook off the weirdness and poked Elia awake. Up, it is hunting day. Today's mission, clear everything. Every single monster within dozens of kilometers of this castle. Total extermination, leave absolutely nothing alive. Elia nodded obediently and followed right behind me. The absolute #1 genius warrior of the Greenwood tribe. A high-ranking, late-stage absolute powerhouse. Splitting massive boulders with her blade. Trotting right behind me like a perfectly well-behaved kitten. Quietly collecting the crystal cores from the fallen beasts. I obliterated, handling each one so delicately. Like they were precious, rare jewels. Role reversal, complete. Get ready, what followed next was pure carnage. We completely, utterly steamrolled across the entire red plain. Like a lawnmower tearing through grass, slopes, and bushes. Dried riverbeds, basically anywhere monsters lived. We showed up, and I punched everything straight into the afterlife. Iron shell crawlers, deadly spike jumpers, even poison fang foxes. It didn't matter what we faced. One punch, dead. Next. Alia barely even lifted a finger. She just kept watching my back, making sure absolutely nothing snuck up on me. Between kills, she would stare at me with this worshipful expression that made her look absolutely nothing like that legendary stone cold warrior goddess everyone else actually knew. She was completely swooning over this short guy. By the time that deep purple sun hit its peak, every single beast for miles was totally gone. The ground was littered with rotting carcasses, Ilia filled to massive bags with crystal cores. The air smelled like blood and sweet victory. Then, get this, I had a wild idea. A suicidal one. Ilia, go back to the castle, all right? Tonight, I am staying out here. I want to see what hunts after dark. Those super rank beasts everyone is so scared of. I want to face them directly. Her smile instantly vanished. She grabbed my arm, her eyes wide with panic. No, absolutely not. The chief warned us. Super rank monsters roam the plains at night. Their senses are too sharp. They are insanely strong. Even the chief stays inside after dark. Alia, I am ridiculously strong now. Relax. But what if something goes wrong? Those things are master ambushers. If you get surrounded, trust me, I am fine. Then I am staying too, Alia. Wherever you go, I follow. When danger comes, we face it together. No way am I leaving you alone. Her face was set in absolute stone. Argue, not a single chance. See, maxed affection stats mean absolute loyalty. She would literally rather die by my side than wait safely inside. I felt this warm squeeze in my chest. Annoying, yet pretty touching. Fine, you can stay. Just stick right next to me and do not do anything crazy. Her worried face instantly melted into a massive grin. Just like a puppy that finally got permission to stay. I will stay right beside you, I promise. We managed to find a cave on a rocky slope. Perfect high ground position. Clear sightlines and totally dry. I carefully checked every single corner. Once it was totally clear, we sat back to rest up. Alia stood guard right at the cave entrance, looking like a literal fortress. Her golden eyes scanned the darkening horizon. The dying sunset framed her outline in gold. 3.2 meters of pure warrior power, watching over her sleeping husband without a sound. She looked like an ancient statue carved by gods. Slowly, the sky turned purple, red to black somewhere out in the darkness. A chilling howl echoed from afar, sending a pretty sharp shiver straight down my spine. The night terrors were finally waking up. I had spent for days on this planet, climbing from a crippled astronaut to a top-ranked powerhouse. I had crushed every single daytime beast that this brutal wasteland offered. But now, get ready to meet the night shift. Let us see what Kepler 666b is truly made of. Darkness fell as the purple sky turned black. The crimson plains fell dead silent. A heavy silence, where even the wind sounded nervous. I sat there cross-legged in our cave, eyes closed, looking quite like a peaceful monk. But inside, my system was ready to go nuclear. Calculate everything from today. Cash it all in now. Ding. Tallying today's hunt, 217 low ranks dead, 73 mid-rank beasts destroyed, 18 high-rank monsters slain, totaling 308 cores and bonus points. 550 points, absorb everything. All 350 points, and the strength boom. 308 cores exploded, right inside my body. A tidal wave of blue energy ripped through my bones, tearing through every single cell. My skeleton rumbled like a violent thunderstorm. Muscles tore apart and healed back up instantly, repeatedly, as if my body was speedrunning evolution itself. Honestly, this system breakdown was beautiful. 217 low-rank cores equals 434 points. 73 mid-ranks equals 365 points. 18 high-rank cores equals 360 points. Plus he dumps 350 points into strength. His strength hits 2412. Agility and constitution, over 1300 and 1400 respectively. Charm 918, still forever cursed. Combat power, 5158. Mid-stage emperor rank achieved. The system literally adds a custom note just for him. His power completely crushed every powerful warrior in Greenwood tribe history. Every single one, not just current members. And not just the chief. Literally every powerhouse who ever lived in this tribe. Across all recorded history. See that, he's officially stronger than everyone. Just 5 days ago, he couldn't even stand. He seals it immediately, deep inside, hiding every single trace of energy. From the outside, he still looks like a scrawny, average 1.8 meter guy. Nobody can feel any energy from him. That's the rule, never show your cards. Until you are totally ready to flip the table. He's unstoppable, he can't help it. One quick outburst, then he goes quiet again. Alia, guarding the cave entrance, suddenly flinches. Her massive body actually trembles. Slowly turning around, her golden eyes lock onto him. And get this, her brain is totally short-circuiting. She can't see stats or numbers in real time. She has no scanner, but her warrior instincts, the raw instincts of a high-ranking genius, are literally screaming that the man sitting behind her has become something completely beyond comprehension. Stronger than their chief, stronger than anyone she has ever heard of. Ling Shin, your power. It jumped again, this energy. I cannot even read it anymore. It is beyond anything I've ever sensed. Her voice is literally shaking. He casually strolls over to her, feeling like a king strolling through his garden. He looks up at this 3.2-meter warrior goddess, who is staring down at him, like he is a god who just descended from heaven. My hand moves on its own, landing a solid smack on her backside. One clean, crisp slap echoing right through the dead silent cave. Like a gunshot, she freezes completely. Her whole face turns blazing red. Not pink, not even rosy, just pure, deep crimson all the way to her ears. Her golden eyes go wide, tearing up from pure embarrassment. She gasps, Ling Shin, stop. The monsters are pretty much here. I just laugh like some cartoon villain in a movie. Seriously, cannot help myself. Just 5 days ago, this lady literally picked me up like a hamster. Now here I am, slapping her backside. And she is actually blushing about it. That is progress, right? As for these weaklings, watch me handle them. She nods quickly, her eyes literally shining with pure worship. Then, right on cue, a massive roar tears the night wide open like a bomb. This sudden wave of fire blasts straight through the dark, shattering the dark sky wide open with a massive, burning crack. As the temperature spikes, the air basically turns into an oven. And stepping right out of the flames comes this monster, a giant lion 5 meters long, entirely covered in dark red lava armor plates. Its massive mane is literally made of fire, actual, living flames, dancing all around its head like some demonic crown. Its eyes are burning with pure murder. Each heavy step it takes scorches the ground black, leaving smoking footprints right behind it. The system skin pops up, super rank Inferno. Demon line, combat power 3100, abilities, fire manipulation and lava armor, a lightning fast pounce. So this is what the chief feared, let's see. The true nighttime apex predator, keeping the whole tribe locked indoors after dark. A monster so incredibly terrifying that even their strongest warriors refuse to face it. Alone, power 3100. My power 5158. I basically have almost double its stats. Alia's entire face turned pale. She immediately threw herself in front of me, hand on her weapon, her voice shaking. Ling Shin, watch out. This beast is crazy strong. Even the chief avoids fighting it alone. I will hold it, find an opening. I gently pulled her back. No need to fight, just watch. She stared at my broad, 1 meter, 80 frame that used to need her for everything, but for the first time, she knew she was not his protector. I was. The lion roared again, scorching flames bursting from its mane. The whole area glowed orange as I cracked my knuckles. Come on, kitty. Let's see what you can do. Roar. Grr. The blazing demon lion was absolutely furious. 5 meters of lava-plated, armored shell. Pure monster. It charged right at me like a fiery train. Claws burning with intense, molten heat, with a fire mane and deadly intent. To literally scare a normal person to death. Alia covered her mouth, trembling like a leaf. To her, this was the ultimate beast. The one even the chief avoided fighting alone. And her husband, just standing there, watch this. Not moving, not flinching, just waiting as those claws reached inches from my face. Then I moved a single strike. Golden energy erupted directly from my fist, like a tiny sun exploding in the dark. The resulting shockwave tore the fire apart, blowing the flames away like mere birthday candles, and slammed straight into those supposedly indestructible lava claws, shattering them like fragile glass. The thick armor all over its body cracked and exploded completely outward. In a massive chain reaction, the lion went flying backward through the air, as if hit by a massive lightning truck. Before it could even finish its scream, I was already hovering right above it, left a clean afterreach behind, and slammed a second punch straight into its skull. Boom. Head completely erased, just completely deleted from existence. Blood and dying flames rained down, like the world's absolute worst confetti. 2 punches. 2 seconds. This terrifying nighttime apex predator, The monster that trapped a whole tribe after dark, dead before it even understood. Talk about some total, embarrassing overkill. Look at Alia's face, completely bricked, standing right there with her mouth open, her golden eyes reflecting my silhouette, staring at this thin figure, who had literally just one punched, a monster that easily could have killed their chief. Her brain basically hit a blue screen of death. She was completely speechless. I casually picked up the super rank crystal core, right out of the lion's cold, dead corpse, buzzing with pretty insane energy. Without even looking back, I tossed it over my shoulder straight to Ilya. Keep that, use it in the training room back home, and do not tell anyone about tonight. She caught it with pretty shaky hands, staring at me like I was some god, who had accidentally taken human form. Ling Shin, you are so good to me. Then she suddenly bent down and kissed me right on the lips. No warning, no look. Elia is absolutely wonderful and deeply loyal. She is brave and beautiful, but honestly, her mouth is proportionally massive. Kissing her feels like making out with a very warm, very soft satellite dish. Not bad though. Just a bit much, but I will admit, her big lips are actually pretty sweet. Alright, let us head back to the tribe. Walking back, my mind was already racing ahead. I was officially the strongest warrior in the Greenwood tribe. Stronger than Kalong, stronger than their chief, stronger than anyone in their entire history. This tribe is going to be my base of operations. First, land on Kepler. Second, establish dominance. Third, build up your power. Somehow find a way back to Blue Star to rescue. All 8 billion people still waiting for me. My ship is destroyed and communications are dead, but my people are still counting on me. I haven't forgotten. Meanwhile, back on Blue Star, inside the Dragon Nation government office, a 60-year-old leader sits slumped at his desk, staring out at the darkening sky. Has Lin Shan reached Kepler 666b yet? I just hope that planet can sustain life. Our sun grows dimmer every single year. A few more decades and it goes completely dark. Blue Star will freeze, and everyone will die. His deputy gently pats his shoulder. We have to believe in him. He is the greatest warrior we ever had. If anyone can pull this off, it's Lin Shan. I hope so. Day 7. The Blood Courage Challenge. Finally, the tribe's central plaza is packed. Every single member of the Greenwood tribe shows up. Work abandoned, chores dropped. This is basically the Super Bowl for these giants. And trust me, this crowd has thoughts. That outsider actually showed his face. He must have a major death wish. Kalong is high rank, mid-stage, easily top 5 in the whole tribe. He will crush that little shrimp in one hit. I bet 100 pounds of beast meat. He won't even last 3 moves. I bet 200 the little runt won't even fight back. An outsider who dares to steal our women. He dies today. Not a single person believes in me. Every eye in that courtyard sees the same thing. A scrawny, weak-looking alien, barely even taller than their children, standing quietly on one side of the arena, head slightly bowed, shoulders completely relaxed, looking about as threatening as a wet napkin. Nobody here could sense my energy. I had buried every single trace of it, just looking exactly like a helpless weakling who crashed a week ago. Ilya stood right beside me, hands sweating, her body tense but her gaze steady, trusting. She was the only person in this whole tribe. Honestly, she knew what was coming next, since she'd actually seen what I could do. High up on the platform, the chief sat with his elders, looking down with a pitying frown. Brave kid, too bad he's so incredibly weak. He'll likely die in that arena. The chief sighed while an elder laughed. Outsiders actually think they can climb up by marrying Ilya. Callan's about to teach him how this world works. And right across the arena stood Callan, decked out in his heaviest battle armor, gripping a massive bone spear tightly, chest puffed out, soaking in the crowd's wild cheers like a champion. The tribe's golden boy, a man ready to absolutely crush the tiny outsider. My power, over 5,000. Emperor rank, middle stage. His rating, maybe 2,000. Even on his best day, I had double his strength. I could literally flick him across the continent. But nobody knows, and honestly, that's pure gold. So I kept my head slightly lowered, looking completely small and helpless. The entire crowd was already writing my obituary. Go ahead. In about 30 seconds, every single person in this courtyard is going to watch their world turn completely upside down. The real show begins now. Callan stood there, staring down at me like a bug he was just about to step on, nearly 4 meters of scarred muscle and bone, spear in hand, grinning with those creepy, red-stained teeth. Outsider, he boomed, making sure the whole plaza heard his demands. kneel and beg for mercy. Cut off your own arm and leave the Greenwood tribe forever. Or I will rip you into pieces so small, they won't even find enough to bury. The crowd burst into loud laughter. 1,000 giants, all completely certain they were about to watch me die. I slowly raised my eyes to meet his gaze. You talk too much, just hurry up. I'm busy. The laughter stopped instantly, like someone completely cut the sound. Kalong's face twisted with pure rage. Fine, you want to die. I will help you. The chief stood up on the high platform, took a deep breath, and announced, Blood Courage Challenge, begin. The second those words left his mouth, watch this. Kalong exploded forward. Every muscle on his body swelled like a balloon. High-rank energy erupted off his body in waves, kicking up massive dust storms across the arena. He gripped his massive bone spear with both hands, and charged right at me like a runaway train. Lynch died. Every single person in that crowd held their breath. This was the ultimate kill shot, the one-sided execution they had all been waiting for. Some were already smiling, savoring my death before it even happened. Elias' heart was pounding so loudly, I could almost hear it from across the arena. The bone spear screamed through the air, aimed right at my chest, just 1 inch away from impact. I raised one finger, just one finger. Boom! The massive bone spear, a weapon that had slain countless monsters, wielded by the tribe's number 2 warrior, with every single ounce of his strength, exploded on contact with my fingertip, shattered into 1,000 pieces, like it was made of cheap crackers. The shockwave blew Kalong's hands apart, splitting his palms open as blood sprayed everywhere. His expression completely flips to sheer terror in 0.2 seconds, literally the fastest panic transition I have ever seen. Before he can even yell, I casually just flick my hand, and an invisible wall of force slams right into him. Kalong gets launched backward, flying like a broken rag doll out of a cannon. His heavy frame crashed right into the totem pillar's base, with the sickening, brutal sound of breaking bones. Blood sprays straight from his mouth, collapsing right onto the hard ground, exactly like a puppet with cut strings. Just one casual, completely effortless strike, without even trying. This tribe's top 5 warrior, the guy who literally hunts thunder serpents, that arrogant jerk who spent a whole week trash-talking me, down in 1 second. Watch how the plaza goes dead silent. You could hear a single leaf drop. 3 blocks away, 1,000 massive giants stand completely frozen, their giant jaws hanging wide open, eyes bulging and minds totally offline. All mockery stopped, every bet about 200 pounds of meat on how he would die, completely frozen on their faces, now replaced by a raw, soul-shaking dread that makes their legs buckle. Proud, massive giants collapsed to the ground, completely unable to stand, crushed by the sheer pressure of my unleashed aura alone. They whisper, how is this possible? Kalong got one shot. That power is just too massive. He was hiding his true strength. This entire time, we were mocking an emperor level rank expert right to his face. Please forgive us. We are so sorry. We will never do it again. Up on the high platform, the chief leaps to his feet, his face white as paper, body trembling. The old elders beside him look like they just saw a ghost. No one can speak, except Elia. She is absolutely beaming, her eyes full of immense pride, giving me that told you so look. Power still radiates across the entire open courtyard. I slowly walked toward Kalong. With every single step I took, echoed through the crowd's collective heart. 1,000 warriors flinched with every move. Finally, I stopped right before him. Looking down at his shattered, bleeding, shivering body, I spoke softly, yet it echoed like pure thunder. You are too weak, but you couldn't make me try for real. Kalong lay there, completely and utterly crushed, body, mind, and soul. The warrior who swore to destroy me, who called me trash, a parasite, and a fake, for 7 straight days, stared up with nothing but absolute submission left. He crawled slowly forward, in absolute agony, pressing his head to the dirt at my feet. He rasped out, How are you this strong? I am not. You are just weak. Do you submit? I submit. Our Greenwood tribe follows the strongest. Elia is honored to serve beside you. Kalong swears to follow Lord Lingshun forever, through fire and death. I'll never betray you. Quietly, I check my system interface. Let's see his loyalty now. Ding. Kalong's loyalty hit 80%, from -100 to 80 with one punch. An entire week of hatred erased in a flash. He went straight from, I will kill you and dance on your grave, to, I will gladly die for you, Lord. Talk about a total shift, right? Turns out, the best cure for jealousy is a beatdown. That resets your worldview. I accept his vow with a silent nod. Then, I turn to face the crowd. I unleash my full emperor level pressure across the entire plaza. No more hiding, no more holding back. The real me takes over today. I, Ling Shun, am the Greenwood tribe's #1 warrior. I will lead us all to greatness. I will make the Greenwood tribe the strongest force on this entire continent. A second of pure silence, then chaos. Every single giant in the plaza fell to their knees. 1,000 massive bodies hitting the dirt, all at once, shaking the earth. They bowed low and screamed out, "Lord Ling Kun is completely invincible. Great Kun, I really want to have your babies. All hail our first warrior. We will follow you forever." Wait, I blinked at that baby comment. No thanks on that, since Alia is more than enough for me. Follow me, and you will feast like kings. Well, actually, follow me. You will starve for 9 out of every 3 meals. Wait, that came out wrong. Follow me, and we will live the good life. Yeah, that is the one. The massive cheering literally shook the hills. That epic sound echoed across the entire Forgotten Hills region. I stood beneath the giant totem pillar, right in the center, with Ilya beside me. Her golden eyes overflowed with love, silently proud of her husband. Even Kalong lay on the ground behind me, a former enemy now groveling in devotion. With 1,000 giants at my feet, the whole Greenwood tribe knelt down in awe. Just 10 days ago, I crash-landed on this planet as a dying, broken astronaut who could barely even lift a hand. Yet today, I stood as their literal god. And believe it or not, things get crazier. The victory celebration that followed raged on until the middle of the night. Bonfires blazed everywhere, the entire tribe partying hard, like they had won the championship. I figured I could finally head back to our room, cuddle up with Alia, and just pass out. Boy, was I dead wrong. The walk from that totem pillar to our tower was only 300 meters. It should have taken 5 short minutes. Instead, it became the absolute scariest journey. Talk about the ultimate gauntlet. With 918 charm points, things got crazy fast. Plus, being crowned the tribe's new #1 warrior changed everything. "Lord Lin Chen, please let me serve you." Suddenly, a 3.5-meter tall giantess bursts forward. She's barely wearing what I can only call basic beast skins. And her chest, wow. They were bouncing insanely hard with every single stride. I literally almost went blind. "My lord, please let me bear your children." Then another woman throws herself at my feet, kneeling, staring straight up at me. She looked up with eyes that were completely unhinged. "Worship Lord Lin Chen. You are easily the handsomest man alive. Though a bit short, you're strong and gorgeous. Please take me, my lord. I do not mind being the second wife. Lord, look at me." Pointing at her chest, she yells she's bigger than Aliyah. "My butt is way bigger than Aliyah's." Another screams, spinning around to show off the evidence. I stood completely surrounded by 30 giant women. They ranged from 2.8 to 4.5 meters tall, staring hungrily down at me. Seriously, like I was the last slice of pizza on earth. Their desperate eyes burned, hands reaching out. One tries to pick me up, and another is completely insane. Actually starts stripping off her heavy battle armor. Right there in the open. "What are you doing?" I scream. It is literally midnight out here in the public square. Please have some basic decency. Suddenly, the courtyard temperature plummeted by about 40 degrees. "What are you all doing?" Aliya's voice cut directly through the chaos, like sword through butter. She stepped right in front of me, standing 3 meters tall, packed with jealous fury. Her golden eyes blazed. High-rank energy erupted off her body. "Get away from him." 30 giantesses immediately stumbled backward in unison. 3 steps back, like a choreographed retreat. Aliya's glare swept slowly across every single one of them, cold enough to freeze solid lava. "Ling Chen is my man. If anyone takes one more step, I will personally throw you over this castle wall." Someone in the back muttered, "Why do you get to keep him all to yourself?" "Yeah, Lord Ling Chen belongs to all of us." Elia's head snapped toward the voices. "Because I am the tribe's #1 genius warrior. And because I can easily throw any of you into next week. Right now, who wants to test me next?" They immediately shut up. As they dispersed, Alia spun around. She grabbed me by my waist and tucked me under her arm just like a football. Then, she marched back toward our tower at maximum speed. "Hey, I can walk, you know." "No, you already scared them off. You do not understand," she muttered, glancing down at me. Her eyes were deadly serious. "When our tribe's women encounter a truly powerful man, they are literally capable of anything." Opened, then closed. Honestly, she had a point. Back in our room, she gently tossed me onto the bed and stood guard right at the door, looking exactly like a bouncer at some exclusive club. Arms crossed, pure murder, face locked, nobody was getting through. Imagine just sitting there replaying all this absolute craziness. 30 wild women trying to rip me away from my wife. In public, with one literally stripping. Multiple others offered to bear my children. All because of 918 charm points. That accidental button press on day one was truly the gift that just kept on giving. Talk about the most chaotic way possible, right? Suddenly, loud shouting erupted outside the door. Alia, the chief sent us here to serve Lord Lingchen. This is the chief's direct order. You cannot stop us. The tribe's #1 warrior must have her attendance. Alia's jaw tightened. She was about to go completely nuclear. But I stood up. Let them in. She whipped around. What if the chief sent them? We can't refuse, and besides, I actually do need help with daily chores. You simply cannot be a warrior and a maid at the same time. She bit her lip hard, but eventually she stepped aside. 4 massive women walked in and lined up right before me. These ones were quite different from the wild mob outside. Almost 3 meters tall, looking very neat, highly professional, clearly handpicked. No wild eyes, keeping their armor on. Just disciplined, highly respectful bows. The lordling introduced them, Avril, Linda, Sarah, and Talisha. Not bad, I thought, turning to Alia. What do you think? She scanned them, with all the warmth of a strict prison warden. Doing a quick head count. A grudging nod, fine. But she locked eyes with every single one of them. Her voice was sharp as a blade. You serve him. That is it. Any funny business, and I will make you regret being born. All forbade frantically. We would never dare, while I tried not to laugh. Elia's jealousy was actually kind of adorable. Terrifying, but still adorable. All right, wait outside. I will call you if I need anything. Yes, my lord. They filed out, door closing. Elia immediately crawled onto the bed and whispered, Why did you take them, silly girl? I need people for basic chores. You should not have to be my bodyguard, and my full-time housekeeper besides. With you here, they would never dare try anything. Relax. You are the only one in my heart, Alia. HMPH. You better mean that. Internally, I laughed. I mean, for beautiful giant women as personal attendants. Seriously, who would blame him? But Alia does not need to know that part. She looked down at me with those pretty serious golden eyes. You can only have me, understood? I reached up and gently pinched her cheek. Don't worry, I'm a very loyal man. She finally relaxed and pulled me tight into her arms. I leaned back, and my entire field of vision was immediately blocked, totally filled by 2 massive mountains, blocking out the entire ceiling like a solar eclipse. A view only available at my very specific height, perk, or curse, depending on your perspective. Then, she carried me off to bed. Time to sleep, I deeply sighed. Well, here comes another pretty long night of feeling inadequate. Day 10 on Kepler 666b. Tribe's new greatest warrior. Gained a pretty fanatical cult following. Survived a wild mob of lovesick giant women. Acquired 4 personal maids. And got princess carried to bed by my jealous wife. Not bad for a guy who was basically dead in a crater, right? That was barely 2 weeks ago. Next morning. Barely awake, and I'm already getting summoned. Lord Lingchen, the chief requests your presence in his study. My 4 new maids, Avril, Linda, Sarah, and Talisha helped me dress in battle armor, which was totally unnecessary, since I can literally punch down mountains. But they insisted, honestly. It felt pretty nice being pampered, honestly, walking into the chief's study with Alia by my side. The old man stood up the second I entered. Lingchen, please, sit down. Congrats on becoming our tribe's #1 warrior. Most undisputed appointment in our entire history. Thanks, chief. Not flattery, just facts. He paused, his face suddenly turning serious. But I called you here because we have a major problem. He pulled out a rugged beast-skin map and pointed right at 2 markers near our territory. These 2, the Blood Axe and Black Rock tribes. They've been bullying us for years now. Both of their chiefs are super rank, late-stage super ranks, and they keep stealing our grounds and crystal resources. We've had several brutal fights recently. 2 of our young warriors got injured yesterday. Looking at the map, 2 enemy tribes are ganging up on us, both led by super rank fighters. My combat power, over 5,000. Their combat power is probably 3,000 each. I almost laughed. Chief, seriously, relax. Just 2 late-stage super ranks. That is absolutely nothing with me around. Nobody touches the Greenwood tribe. The chief hesitated. I know you are strong, but they have massive numbers. Then I will visit their tribes myself, and make them completely disappear. I said it casually, like I was just running an errand, because to me, it basically was one. The chief stared at me with a look that said, I do not understand what you are anymore. He was used to being the smartest and strongest person in the room. Now, a 1.8-meter tall alien was casually talking about erasing entire tribes, like he was buying groceries. Then, he brought up another matter. By the way, I recently spent a fortune hiring a wandering wizard to build us a level 3 training room. That is how Elia reached high rank. But here is the real catch. It costs 1,000 low-rank crystals daily to operate. 1,000 daily, and higher levels. Eat even more. A level 3 is our absolute limit. We can barely afford to run it occasionally, let alone daily. Do you not have wizards here? The chief just laughed bitterly. Wizards are in a sacred profession. They are celebrities everywhere they go. Why would one stay in our backwater tribe? My mind instantly started spinning. I silently called the system. System, can you construct training rooms? Ding, once host reaches Saint rank, the wizard profession will be unlocked. Abilities include constructing special training rooms and magic formations. Your wizard level can upgrade by consuming star marrow, or even higher. Higher level means better training rooms. Wait, you can actually do that. What is star marrow? It is a super rare energy mineral on this planet. The spots holding it are always crawling with monsters. Of course, standard death world logic. Every good thing here is guarded by something that is actively trying to eat you. First things first, I turned to the chief. Do you trust me? He does not hesitate. You are our #1 warrior and Ilia's husband. If I do not trust you, then who? Good. How many crystal cores does the tribe have in storage? He thinks for a second. 2,000 low rank, 550 mid, 10 high rank, 1 super rank. My eyes literally turn into slot machine symbols. Give me all of them. The chief does not even blink. Done, he says, calling the guards. Within 15 minutes, 2 warriors haul in a massive chest, slamming it at my feet. You have got to see this. They crack it open, and wow, pure glorious energy. Packed so incredibly tight. The energy is practically solidifying in the air. Perfect. But what are you going to do with them? The chief asks, genuinely confused. Normal training with these won't boost your power by much. But I just grin. Chief, that is my little secret. He clearly wants to ask more, but he holds back. Fine. I will be waiting. I haul the chest to my tower, posting the 4 maids right outside the doors. Nobody disturbs me. I sit cross-legged now, and open that beautiful box of goodies. System, absorb everything. Ding. Absorbing 2,000 low rank cores, 4,000 points, 550 mid rank, 2,750 points, 10 high, 200 points, 1 super rank core, 100 points. Total is 7,050 auto-distributed points. Crazy energy detonates inside me. Not just a wave this time, a total supernova. Every single cell in my body caught fire and rebuilt itself. 3 times over, my bones resonated like deep church bells. My muscles literally rewrote their own DNA. Ding, combat power shoots past 10,000. Breakthrough to early stage saint rank. Ding. New profession unlocked, wizard. Wizard level 1 available, along with level 1 training room. Level 1 magic formation unlocked. New stats. Strength, 4762. Agility, 3652. Constitution, 3794. Charm, 918. Curse combat power, 12,200. Early stage saint rank, 12,000 combat power. From a dying astronaut to saint rank. Absolutely crazy, right? Powerhouse in under 2 weeks. And now, I was a wizard too. Building training rooms myself. The exact thing the chief paid a fortune for. Now I could easily do it myself. So this is what saint rank feels like. I am absolutely ridiculously powerful, haha. I stood up to stretch. Honestly, felt like I could flick a mountain away. Let me study this wizard profession and figure it out. Bang, bang, bang. Frantic footsteps outside. Someone crying, then screaming. Lord Lingchen, something terrible has happened. Of course. Seriously, can we get even one peaceful afternoon here? I finally achieve godhood, and immediately get interrupted by an emergency. No worries, everything is totally fine. I had just finished breaking through to saint rank. Combat power over 12,000. Feeling like a literal god when the door burst open. Lord Ling Chen, something terrible has happened. Avril ran inside, looking like she had seen death itself. Face pale, Helia and Kalong were attacked. The Blood Axe and Black Rock tribes totally ambushed them. On the Red Plain, their top fighters, Kalen and Gray, both high ranks. Late-stage enemies have completely ganged up on Alia. She is losing, while Kalen lies unconscious. Our warriors are down, and she cannot hold on much longer. Suddenly, something deep inside me snapped. Not the terrified, scared astronaut, and not the easygoing, funny husband, but rather the cold soldier part of my soul, the fierce part that crashed, landed on a planet alone, and absolutely refused to die. Someone hurt my wife. Tell me where. East side of the Red Plains, near Black Wine Valley. I took one step and completely vanished, moving so fast that the air behind me exploded. And check this out. I arrived into a complete nightmare. Blood was everywhere. A dozen Greenwood warriors lay scattered across the hard ground. Some lay dead, others groaning in agony. Kalong was lying face down in the dirt. His back was torn open to the bone, unconscious. And Alia, my precious Alia, on one knee, armor shattered, covered in fresh blood, wounded everywhere, shaking but still standing, still fighting, her golden eyes burning with defiance, even as her own body was falling apart. Behind her stood two massive giants, Kalon Blood Axe, their tribe's #1 fighter, built like a refrigerator with serious anger issues, swinging a giant, blood-red war axe. And then, Gray Black Rock, their strongest, with skin like black stone. His arms were covered in horn-like armor plates, plus 30 of their elite warriors standing behind them. Kalon was smugly tossing stolen crystal cores in his hands. He grinned, telling Alia to submit. You cannot beat us both, Gray rumbled deeply. I heard your tribe got some outsider as their new top champion. Where is he hiding anyway? Too scared to show. I heard he's only 1.8 meters. Haha. Then, Gray said something that made my blood turn completely volcanic. Can that pathetic little shrimp even satisfy you? Just come to me, babe. I have what you need. Haha. Shut your mouth, Elias screamed furiously. Ling Shun will kill you, Kalen laughed. Kill us, that pathetic little runt. I asked around, and you found him like some stray dog. He probably can't even beat a child. If he actually shows up, he's just another corpse. He raised his war axe and walked right toward Alia, grinning like a vicious predator. Pretty girl, stop struggling, because today I'll kill you first. Then I'll slaughter your pathetic little husband next. Alia tried to stand, but her legs completely collapsed. Too much blood lost, and too many broken bones. Her vision faded. Is this really how I die? Ling Shun, I'm so sorry. I couldn't wait for you anymore. Kalen swung his axe straight toward her skull. Then boom, a streak of golden light slams from the sky. Like a meteor, the ground explodes in all directions. Thick dust clouds erupt 50 meters high. Kalen's axe never actually reached her. An invisible, overwhelming force launches him backward, flying like a cannonball, smashing him through a boulder 100 meters away. The giant rock disintegrates. As the dust settles, a silhouette stands before Alia. 1.8 meters, lean, thin, but radiating power that could crush the sky. Ling Shun, Alia whispered softly, tears pouring down her blood-covered face. You actually came. I looked over my shoulder, seeing every single wound and bruise. Every drop of her blood made me see red. I'm so sorry I'm late. Just rest now, I've got this. I turned to face over 30 warriors. Get ready. My voice is deadly, quiet, calm. The kind of quiet right before everything gets destroyed. Dies. Who touched her? Grace's face went pale. He could feel it. My crushing aura, the thing that made him feel. The absolute strongest fighter in his tribe. The very source of his cruel, arrogant pride. It was absolutely nothing compared to what rolled off me. Wait, are you that little runt? This pressure is impossible. It's 10 times stronger than our chief. How can you be this? Callan drags himself out of the rubble. Half his body is shredded, face twisted in terror. What are you? What kind of monster? I do not answer, simply raising my hand. One punch, golden light tears reality wide open. Watch this, the shockwave turns everything to pure ash. Gray and 20 elite warriors standing right behind him, not even having time to scream. They simply cease to exist, vaporized into red mist, gone. Callan's legs buckle as he collapses to his knees, face pale as death. Please, have mercy. I didn't know. I had no idea you were this strong. Don't kill me. I look at him. I think about what he said to Alia, planning to murder her, repeating all the vile things Grace threatened. staring at my fallen warriors lying lifeless. No words, a second punch. His head pops instantly like a grape. Body topples over. Silence. I walk over, gently lifting Elia up into my arms. She stood 3 meters tall too, weighing far more than any normal human could ever carry. But with my strength, she feels light as a feather, just like cradling a sleeping child. She nestles closely into my chest, voice barely a whisper. She still smiles. You came, I knew you would. I am sorry I was late. She shakes her head slightly, before completely passing out in my arms. Her injuries are incredibly serious, but she will live. I finally let out a breath I did not realize I was holding. Slowly, I look around. Dead warriors from both tribes are everywhere. 2 decapitated, lifeless corpses. Those who used to be the enemy's absolute strongest. Over 30 blood axe elites simply erased. Black Rock tribe, you hurt my people. You hurt my wife, watch me hunt you. The chief finally arrives minutes later, rushing onto the chaotic scene with reinforcements. Is everyone all right? Elia will recover. Kalong is unconscious, but alive. I am taking her home. The rest is yours. 2 days later, Elia was heavily bandaged but awake. Kalong was pretty battered but conscious. They both lay on mats, slowly recovering. Standing in the plaza, I stared directly southeast. I am going after the Blood Axe and Black Rock tribes. They must pay. Ellie immediately tried to stand up. She wanted to come, but I gently pushed her down. You are injured. Stay. Kalong was still flat on the ground, croaking, Lord Ling Shin. Let me come. I seriously want revenge. Boss, you can barely even move. This is nothing. Just a scratch, please. I looked at him, literally beaten half to death, still volunteering for war. His loyalty shot up from -100 to genuinely wanting to die for me. Peak character development here. Fine, you can. But you can only come because I do not know the way. You are my GPS. No fighting. Just watch. Yes, Lord. My lord. Then, I walked out of the tribe. Behind me, Elia, the chief and literally every single tribe member, watched my back with a strange mix of awe, hope, and the ultimate kind of respect. You know, the kind of respect you only get by turning enemies into literal red mist with his bare hands. They messed with the wrong guy. Today, this short guy goes to war. Kalong and I walked across the vast, red plain, toward Blood Axe tribe. Walking together is incredibly generous. His legs were just so long that literally every step he takes requires about 3 of mine. I basically looked like a kindergartner, chasing his dad through a massive parking lot. But whatever, raw power has nothing to do with height. Seriously, I could easily flick this giant into orbit. I pulled up my brand new wizard profession. Wizard level 1 upgrade. Costs 500 pounds of star marrow. My current inventory, 0 pounds. Fantastic. Kalong. I asked about star marrow, and he immediately perked up. Oh, that is what wizards use to train. Only wizards are physically capable of absorbing the energy. It is way too violent. But monsters can also absorb that energy, which is why they guard every single deposit. Only elite powerhouses from big cities can break through. Small tribes like ours, not a chance. And we do not even have a wizard, so it would be useless anyway. Interesting. Wizards were basically the celebrity VIP class of this planet. They could build specialized training rooms, create magic formations, and cast spells. Part architect, part mage, part rockstar. Most ordinary people simply lacked the talent. But I had my trusty system. Who needs talent when you have a cheat code, right? Callan cautiously asked Lord Ling Shin. Why exactly do you want this, sir? I just stared at him, and he shut up immediately. But I saw the gears turning in his head. This outsider is asking about wizard materials. Does that mean he is also a wizard? He is already the strongest warrior, and potentially a wizard. I let him cook on that. Sometimes silence is scarier than answers, don't you think? I asked how much time we had. My lord, 1 hour, until the Blood Axe tribe learns the worst mistake of their lives. We arrived at a valley between 2 stone mountains. The Blood Axe settlement was surrounded by wooden walls, over 10 meters high, covered in blood-red war flags. From the outside, I could hear shouting. Hundreds of warriors were doing combat drills. The whole place basically screamed, "We are violent and proud." Callan briefed me, 5,000 people total, about 2,000 fighters, and Chief Grum is super rank. Mid-stage, and their number 1 young warrior was Callan, but you already turned his head into confetti. They still have 3 high-rank warriors left, all super rank, mid-stage, maybe 3,000 combat power. Power, 12,208. Honestly, I could sneeze and this whole tribe would collapse. Let's just move, I tell him, marching straight toward the massive front gate. Kalong completely freezes, whispering, Lord, we are literally just walking in. Right through the front door. What? Was I supposed to send a letter first? Kalong sighs. Fair point, let's go. Two gate guards spot our approach, and immediately burst out laughing. Look, isn't that Kalong from the Greenwood tribe? Why did you bring a tiny little human? Are you here to beg, or just die? Kalong's face darkens as he steps forward, roaring. Blood axe scum. Come out and die. The guard's face twists. Are you insane, bringing that trash talk here? Just shut up and get your worthless chief out. One guard quickly sprints inside to sound the alarm, while the other blocks the gate with his axe. Within seconds, the gates slam open and giant warriors flood out. Leading them is an absolute monster of a man, shirtless, 4.5 meters tall, muscles stacked on muscles, looking like massive boulders glued together, a blood-red axe tattoo covering his entire chest. Meet Grum, chief of the Blood Axe tribe. Behind him, at least 200 elite warriors. Grum stares down at Kalong and grins. Well, Greenwood's Kalong came here to die. His eyes slowly drift to me. His grin grows as he mocks our little pet. All 200 warriors behind him burst out laughing. That tiny guy doesn't even reach my thigh. Is Greenwood really that desperate now? Sending literal toys to fight us? Are you going to throw that meat at us? Kalong is literally shaking with rage, knuckles turning white around his blade. But wait, notice what I saw instead. Several female giants in the crowd are staring at me. Not with mockery, with pure hunger. One of them was nearly 4 meters tall, built like a mountain, with curves, literally drooling with her eyes locked onto me, just like some heat-seeking missile locking onto its target. 918 charm points on overdrive. Even inside enemy territory, surrounded by a crowd wanting to kill me, these giant women couldn't help themselves. I am about to wipe out this entire tribe, and their women are busy checking me out. This is my life now. Talk about a ridiculous charm stat. Grum was still laughing there. 200 warriors were still mocking me, and Kalong was absolutely ready to explode with rage. Nobody in that crowd had any idea that this little pet, standing quietly right in front of their gates, actually had 4 times their chief's combat power. But honestly, we had not even started fighting yet. Then things got weird. A female giant, and I use that word female, purely in the biological sense here, waddled right up to Chief Grum, and started talking in this pretty nauseating, squeaky baby voice. Chief, that little guy is just so cute. Do not kill him, give him to me. I'll take him home as a pet to play with. I almost gagged right on the spot. This woman, this absolute specimen, face looking like a sack of angry potatoes, nostrils pointing directly straight at the sky, lips so massive, they looked like 2 sausages glued to her face, and she was trying to act all cute, batting her eyes and twisting her waist, which was roughly the size of a water tank. Compared to Ilya, this was like comparing a dumpster fire to a sunset. Thank God that when I first crash-landed on this planet, it was Ilya who found me, not this creature. I would have happily chosen death instead. I would have crawled away, right back into the burning wreckage of my ship, and pulled the hot debris over me like a blanket. Grum laughed loudly. I thought you hated short people, always calling them disgusting little ants. Gully does this massive, earth-shaking hip wiggle, 3 continents away, but this guy feels different. I must have him. Grum just waved his hand. Fine, he's yours. Gully's face lit up like a jack-o'-lantern. Carved by some drunk person, she stomps right over, each step causing a minor earthquake. She crouches down and reaches for me, with a meaty hand the size of a trash can lid. Come to big sister, you little cutie. I love you so much. Her fat lips pucker up, yellow teeth, breath so foul it could kill a small animal 10 paces away. 918 charm points, and they get me this. I look at her with 0 expression. Ugly, get away from me. One casual punch, barely any effort, like swatting a fly. Boom. Gully ceased to exist. 1 second, she was a 4-meter mountain of horrifying flotation. Next second, she's just a fine red mist, spraying across the faces of every single warrior, standing nearby. Dead silence. Look at Grum, his smile froze like a glitched video. 200 warriors stared at the empty space, where Gully used to be, blood dripping from their shocked faces. That's impossible. Gully was high rank, mid-stage, but how? 1 punch? I must be hallucinating. Kalong steps forward, wearing the smuggest grin of his life. High rank mid-stage, you say? In front of Lord Lincoln, high ranks and tiny ants are the same thing. Grum's face went dark. Who are you? I flicked my hand, like I was shaking off dust. Ling Kun, Greenwood tribe. You are that little guy Callan told me about. Callan, your tribe's #1 fighter. I smiled. He's dead. I killed him. What? Grum staggered like someone kicked him in the chest. His warriors exploded into panic, shouting, "Impossible, not Callan. He is lying, chief. Don't believe him." Grum steadied himself, snarling through gritted teeth. "Even with those skills, you're not leaving alive. I have thousands of warriors. We will bury you in bodies." I faced his army, glancing at the hundreds more, flooding out of the settlement behind him, armed and screaming. They all thought numbers meant safety. Mere ants, come at me, all of you. Stop wasting my time. Grum lost his mind. Kill him, everyone, now. 200 elite charged with axes, hammers, spears and maces. A literal wave of metal, muscle, and murder, converging on one tiny, 1 meter 80 target. Behind me, Callum went pale. Can you blame him? Without moving, I watched the first axe swing toward my skull. I raised my fist, boom.